you want to be a winner, not only have to understand how to win, but to understand how to consistently win.
We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this shit.
That's our brand of football. If you want to be a winner, not only have to understand how to win, but to understand how to consistently win.
We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this shit.
That's our brand of football.
The New York Jets, victorious. They moved to 3-9. What does that mean? It means that ship's turning a little more. We're not going to be negative about a loss. We're not going to bitch. We're not going to cry. We don't do that on this show. We man up and we celebrate success. They've won 3 of their last 5. The ship is turning. You don't like it, jump overboard. There's somebody else who jumped a couple weeks ago and is in Indianapolis, and he's lonely. Go join him. Kevin Tattoos brings him up. Speaking of Charles, has anyone checked in on him since the Colts suck again? Hell yeah. I love it. I love the energy, Kevin. That's what we're doing here tonight, folks. We're high energy. We're going to celebrate. We don't get a lot of wins in this league. We don't get victories. We don't have a lot of victory Mondays. We're starting that shit now because it's already Monday in Australia. Shout out to Craig. Folks, this league is about wins and losses. The more wins come, the better you're going to be long term. They're building something. They're putting it together. To win 3 out of 5 after losing your first 7 is progress. Nobody in that building wants to go 2-15. Nobody in that building wanted to go 0-17. That's a loser mentality. They're not doing that. They're in year 1. They're building it. They're making it come together. We're going to get into that much more. I apologize. This is my 6th 32-ounce coffee today. I am fired up. I'm happy that you're here. We're going to talk all things New York Jets. We're going to avoid Allen's doomsday scenarios for the future, just for tonight. We got Wednesday shows for that bullshit. But folks, kick back, relax, let yourself go. Don't sweat what you heard. It's Blitz BK.
It's got me.
Gentry covered in football!
Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show. Dim the lights, but it's still bright as Nick time. Day or night, this is his prime, it's Nick Shine. Proud fan, well defined, to get in line. Toe to toe with any show, he only got 9. The best show on YouTube, bro, is easy. We talk Jets all day, please believe me. Subscribe, you just gotta click a family. We not a click in 3D. You can see a beautiful DP. We see through the fake teams and the tea leaves. So we pray for a coach and a QB and hope that we close to the top in the new league. A toast to the host with the most, Nicky. Who, me? Any day, any night, we all shine, bro. First class shine time, the Nick Shine Show. Anytime on YouTube, if you don't know, the Nick Shine Show, the Nick Shine Show.
Fantastic. You know what's fantastic? Boomtown. And I owe Boomtown an apology. Boomtown, I messaged you on Discord. If you have the What Did We Learn from this morning show, I will read it. I got a little used to you not being in the show the last couple days, so forgive me. I owe you a public apology, and that's what I'm doing right now. Boomtown, I am sorry for this morning. I hope we can still be friends. I know you're a nice guy. I hope you still view me as a nice guy. If not, I will do everything I can every day for the rest of my life to make you think that I'm a nice guy again. Posted it on the video. Oh, sometimes they block the words. All right, I'll get to that right now. Yeah, they blocked it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Boomtown is a very important part of this show. And I messed up this morning, not gonna lie. So we're gonna go to that first. Oh, it's still uploading. That's why I haven't gotten the alert yet. I haven't gotten the alert yet on it. That video is still uploading. That's weird. That makes no sense. All right. I'll check on that in a little bit. Here's what we got, folks. It's Sunday night. It's shine time. It's prime time. What does that mean? Well, here's what it means. All raffle entries tonight, this show, one, two for Sunday, three, Jets victory? Hell yeah. All raffle entries tonight are tripled. And if you donated this morning's show, it's a game day show. Jets won. This morning's will be tripled also. So, super chats, $5 and up. A $5 super chat gets you 3 entries. Gifting 5 memberships gets you 15 entries. In what, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Darrell Revis mini helmet, Freeman McNeil autographed jersey. Get your entries in. We are going to party. We don't know when we're going to win again. We hope it's next week. Imagine that. 2 winning streaks in the same season. What? 4 out of the last 6 Sundays the Jets haven't lost. We had a bye week in there as well, folks. So the New York Jets are starting to do some good things. Let's cover it, all right? Let me get into my notes because, yes, I was watching the game by myself today. I took some notes. Here's what we got. A.Z. Thomas, good in run support early on in the game. The defense was very bend but don't break. How many times have we watched this defense break? Michael Clemens steps up, gets a sack, and Tony Adams got one shortly after. 2 guys that we have all been very hard on, deservingly so. They deserved the criticism that they get. They deserve the hate that they've gotten. They have not been productive. They have missed tackles. They've been out of place. They've been poor in coverage, penalties, you name it. Every negative you can think about, these 2 have been a part of. Special teams turnover. Tremendous. We're going to get more into the special teams in a little bit. After that turnover, we get the ball about the 2. What do? They run right behind Simpson, wide open. Brees Hall walks into the end zone. A.D. Mitchell. How many of you, when this season started, was upset about our wide receiver room? All of us, right? All of us. Also, I did. Very good catch, Adirondack. I did say hard on. Oh, I said it again. We said our wide receiver room was trash. We said, and I quote, how are we going to win a game without Garrett Wilson? Well, we've won multiple. How are we going to move the ball? If Garrett Wilson goes down, we're not going to be able to do anything on offense. This is why panickers don't make decisions in life. Darren Muji does not look like a panicker. Muji is making good decisions. He's making good additions to this team. Mechie had an off day, had a couple drops, but him and Mitchell paired together on one side of the field is a really nice combination. And then you're going to get to add Garrett Wilson to that. So, Mitchell, huge day. We'll talk about that. Dom C will be joining me in a few minutes. Couple things I've noticed also. Bijan had a run where he stepped to the left, everybody flowed that way. And he cut back to the right. Sherwood was there in the hole. You step up, you meet him, you lower your pads into his leg, you wrap up, you make the tackle for a loss. Instead, he stands flat-footed. You're going to lose if you're flat-footed against Bijan Robinson. Bijan cuts outside of him. Sherwood reaches. Bijan goes for about 30. Really, really bad play by Sherwood. Now, if you can learn from that, if you can improve upon that, if you can correct that going forward, okay. But if not, dude, I can't have you trying to meet a running back in the hole if you're not going to take him on and lower your pads and go make the goddamn tackle. My next note after Sherwood, I think it was maybe the next play or a couple plays later, I wrote in caps, Briggs is him. I think it was about 2nd and 4. And Briggs blew up the guard, got inside the defense in the offensive backfield, made a nice tackle for a loss. And then Tony Adams got a sack. I don't know if there's a lot of people out there that thought we could win this game. I think a lot of people got really negative when Brownlee was ruled out. But I got to give Wilkes some credit. Wilkes did enough to win the game. Listen, Bijan had a day. Bijan got yardage. But they slowed him down. And they halted the drives when they had to. Whether it was just keeping them out of field goal range. They did enough to win. This offense, as bad as some of the games have been, is still averaging now over 20 points a game. The defense, the points per game has come down. We were in the 30s after a couple weeks. And now we're down, I think, mid-20s. We were at 26 going into this game. So probably maybe high 25s now after this. But that number's been coming down recently. We're not getting blown out. We're not giving up these long drives after drives after drive. It's not snowballing. They're stopping teams when they need to. They're getting 3 and outs. They're getting a bunch of them. And I don't want to hear about our fucking opponents. And I don't want to hear about it's just the Atlanta Falcons. The New England Patriots are being praised, and they have the weakest strength of schedule in NFL history. You beat the teams on your schedule. You don't get a bonus points for beating a better team. Things are starting to turn, and I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm going to celebrate a victory. But I'm not going to do that alone. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you one of my best friends in the world. I bring you Dom C of Project Prospect with Dom C. What's up, my friend? Oh, end of X Factor. Forgive me.
That's okay. That's okay. Nick, brother, how are you, man?
Jets won. People are
Yeah,
actually.
you know what? I almost called you to last second. I had 2 extras with me because my wife's friend and my son has the flu. My older boy has the flu, so he stayed home. And then my wife's friend was coming with us because her husband and his kid have a pair of season tickets in the section next to us. So I said, well, I got extra tickets. I said, come with us. And she bailed. So I almost called you, but I was like, well, it's like 11:15. I said, this kid's not going to want to get in his car.
I turned it down last night. Lou B reached out to me, and he had a bunch of extras. I just didn't want to go out in the rain. And I'll be honest with you. I just didn't want to go sit out in the rain.
Yeah, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Hello to Jets 8308. Oh, no, not Dom. Love you too, buddy. No, I went, my PJ, my little guy's an Atlanta Falcons fan. So, if they're there, I'm going to go. And rain or shine, it was miserable. It was probably the least populated, attractive game that I've seen at MetLife in a long time. I mean, there was nobody there between the 2 shitty records of these 2 teams, 2 below average teams, 2 shitty records, wind, snow, rain, the whole 9. It was rough, dude.
Yeah, it didn't look enjoyable, but at least we got a win.
A win is a win.
How was the little guy? Was he upset?
Not at all. Not at all.
Trash to him?
No.
See, I would have if I was
he's
there. I would have wrecked his day, Dom.
He's
I
a
think it was
Kyle
good you didn't
Pitts
call
fan.
me because I would have wrecked his day.
He's a Kyle Pitts fan, and Kyle actually had a really good game, comparatively to what he's been doing. So he was pretty content. He was, very much engaged the whole time with what was happening with the University of Florida, hiring Summerlin from Tulane. That's what his attention was.
Yeah.
He's more of a Florida fan, a University of Florida fan, than he is anything else. So,
Okay.
yes, sir.
We'll start right there. Pitts had himself a day. Brownlee not being there really showed to me the value that he brings to this defense. Now, granted, we got out with a victory, but I think when you look at what Brownlee brings to this defense, setting the edge in the run, jumping the quick passes that they ran a couple outside they had some success with, I think that the Falcons really wanted to take advantage of Brownlee not being there. They wanted to test us on the perimeter with the run game and with some quick passes at times. And I think that Jets fans should really be happy about this trade for Brownlee because he's come in very quickly and kind of set the tone for who and what this defense wants to be.
Yeah, I don't think people who don't know Brownlee well enough realize how good he is at fitting the run. He plays in essence like another linebacker, and it's a skill set that if I was to define what I think really epitomizes like an Aaron Glenn type of player, it's a guy who's feisty, no nonsense. He'll punch you in the mouth. He'll get in there and he'll fit the run no matter what. Because as good of a cover corner Aaron Glenn was, and Nick, you remember his time. He would get in there and he wasn't afraid. He didn't shy away from tackles. He wasn't Sauce Gardner on the edge. He got in there and he'd hit you.
Yeah.
And that Mickens, I'm not Mickens. That was a blast from the past. But I was thinking Glenn, and I thought Mickens. But Brownlee, man, he fits the run like a linebacker, dude.
He does.
Like it's as good. He's probably better than our linebackers. That's for another topic that we'll talk about later on because we got to talk about these this linebacking core that we have here. But not having him and listen, he's a press. He's a man corner. Yeah, he's a primary a slot. You want him in the box, and I think having him in the box gives you a little bit more flexibilities on what you can do with your safeties because you can play a too high shell in a base nickel and have Brownlee kind of roaming, from the line of scrimmage out 5 yards, just like an extra linebacker on the outside. So you're right. I think Atlanta took advantage of him not being there. Listen, Atlanta pretty much did what they wanted to in the run game. Whether it was Bijan, whether it was Algier, a lot of it was cut back. A lot of it is still, not maintaining, gap integrity or missing tackles or stuff like that. In and around the line of scrimmage, i.e. the linebackers really sucked today. Really, really sucked today. But, they nonetheless, they dominated the run game. And the Jets defense made plays when they needed to. They made the plays when they needed to. They, a couple big third down stops, a couple times questionable decisions by Raheem Morris, who I'm wondering if, he might be the league's worst. I thought for a while Aaron Glenn was the worst coach out of all the 32. I think Raheem Morris might be. Some of his decisions in game kind of are questionable at best.
Okay.
So you're talking about the Jets defense. Kudos, they made plays when they had to. Couple nice plays, couple nice sacks. Really big fit of the run on that third down sweep early on by A.Z. Thomas. Really nice, awareness and recognition by Will McDonald blowing up a screen.
Yeah.
On a third down play that would have easily went for a first down. And I thought Malachi Moore played a phenomenal game. I'm curious to see, and you take it for what it is, the PFF scores. But I thought Malachi Moore had a great game. He was all over the place.
He
Fitting the
popped
runs.
Robinson one time going out of bounds, like
Yeah.
legal hit, but he put that shoulder right into the thigh, and that's what
Yeah.
you want to see from your safety, right? You want to see him come up and deliver a pop and put a beating on the running back legally, but you want that running back to take a beating.
Yeah.
You want to hit him in the legs as often as you can. I hate this reaching or just throwing the shoulder at a guy's chest and they bounce right off and they keep going. Put a beating on their legs, slow them down.
If I had to guess, I'd probably say that him and Will McDonald and maybe Juwan Briggs are going to be the highest rated defenders, and I'm talking about Malachi Moore.
I thought Tufele had
flashed a little
nice
bit.
moments. Yeah, I made a comment in my Discord earlier in the game that he had a couple nice moments. Atlanta was backed up down by their 10 at one point, and he tracked it and made a nice tackle in the backfield. So, there's guys who are fitting this scheme and starting to get comfortable in it. And I think that's a really good sign because so many people were down and they were fire Glenn, fire Wilkes, but now you're starting to see things come to light. And I'm a big believer that our cornerback room, at least the top end with the three of them, should be set, right? Like I think you're going to go into next year with Thomas, Stevens, and Brownlee as your top three. You're probably going to look to add maybe another inside guy who can, God forbid, something happens to Brownlee. You want to get someone, maybe a veteran with that inside-outside flexibility. I think Oliver filled that role this year. He's not doing it well, so I would definitely look to upgrade there. But I think right down the middle, in terms of linebacker, safety, and maybe another defensive tackle, and you could really have the makings of a good defense here. Now, I do want to get another defensive end.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think you
care.
need another.
Michael Clemens got his one sack. I'm good. I can say thank you for your service. Take care, man. Enjoy the UFL.
I don't know if he got that sack or the sack got him. If you watched and rewatched,
Cousins kind of stepped right up into him.
Yeah,
right?
he kind of stepped right into him, and the blocker was pushing him, and it pushed like the two immovable objects of Cousins stepping the wrong way and the lineman blocking Michael Clemens the wrong way kind of met, and boom, there he is, first sack.
Yeah. Shout out to Luppy, member of the channel for a year. Thank you, sir. I see a difference in this team. Am I crazy? Dom, what do you think?
See a difference. I mean, from week 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I think you definitely are seeing a difference. I think they're playing. Listen, they play hard, man. And that's the one thing that people I don't think realize, Nikki. Coaches and players don't tank. You know what I mean? We from the outside, want to see it or see the good in it, but coaches and players are playing to win every rep, every moment. So they haven't quit, and they're they're really fighting for Glenn, and it was bound to get better, right? Now, listen, call it what it is. These are two, less than average or below average teams, football teams. Call it like it is. Two below average football teams. The one who made the least amount of mistakes was going to win. And guess what? We made the least amount of mistakes, right? We made more kicks.
We made mistakes too.
We made mistakes, yeah, but we made
his worst game, right? He had 2 false starts. He gave up a sack.
We got the turnover.
Sack. One of our guys was in motion, and when Membu went to drop, he dropped into him. I think they snapped the ball too quick, so Membu bumped into the receiver or tight end. I forget who it was in motion, and he backed into him. Hold on a second here. Colts cornerback Sauce says he believes he has a strain and not an Achilles. Not an Achilles tear. So he was interviewed after the game. That just got retweeted. That popped up on my Twitter alerts. But I mean, Membu, he's a rookie still, right? And there's going to be times. Here's the thing, right? In August, I was there at Giants practice, and he got absolutely embarrassed by Brian Burns, time and time again, to the point where I was like, "Oh my God, this is really, really going to be a problem week 1 with T.J. Watt." And he answered the call, and he was really good in week 1. And there's been weeks he's been really, really good for a rookie. bounce back now. You know what I mean? Like you had that moment in August where you got embarrassed and people were a little upset. And you know me, I try to stay even keel. I don't go too high. I don't go too low with my takes. But I was like, we might have, you're gonna have to double. You're gonna have to chip a lot. I don't know if he can handle T.J. Watt. This week wasn't about getting beat. I think maybe with the new quarterback, there was a little bit of a cadence adjustment. That maybe they're still working on. Uh, I don't want to make excuses for him, but he's got to be better, and I think he will. And I don't think any Jet fan should have to hit the panic button when it comes to Membo. He's been one of our most consistent players throughout the season, and I think really he's on the rise, and he's bounced back from some mistakes earlier, and just to show where we're at. And also, I am disappointed with a lot of you. You have not sent me your version of this. Also,
I think
yes,
Joe
you are
Tippmann,
crazy, but we love you for that.
I think Joe Tippmann gets me better than the Membo dance in that one.
I'll do Membo. I'll do the Membo.
I love it.
Hell yeah. I love seeing the team win, Tom. We don't get that very often. We're talking about the 7th straight year of double-digit losses. People are upset because draft positioning is being affected. I don't care about any of that. I want to see this team rise. I want to see this team get better. If we can get to 6 wins, now you're closer to getting to 10 quicker. You're closer to getting to a playoff team in theory, right? You're gonna lose some of these players. You're gonna retain some of them. But I want to see A.D. Mitchell go for 100 yards. I want to see Mitchell get past the defense. I want to see things starting to come together because you're doing all that without Garrett Wilson. Give me your thoughts on this receiving core because Mitchell's second year in the league. He was, a guy that you've studied for the draft last year because the Jets seemed like they always needed receivers and weapons. And Mechie could be a nice 3. So take a look at the receiver core, Dom, and tell me what your thoughts are about where we are today and where we could be when we get Garrett back and when we get a better quarterback in the future.
Well, I'll show you this real quick if I can pull it up. Nick, can I share my screen for a second? Do you mind?
Absolutely. Go ahead. Also, while you're watching the show, there's 60 of you here. Hit the like button. If you have not already, we are 6 away, I believe, from 1,900. Subscribe to the channel. Help us get to 1,900 tonight. And since the Jets won, all raffle entries are tripled. Darrelle Revis, mini helmet. Freeman McNeil, autographed jersey. We'll be raffling those away Sunday night, December 21st. I will rush them to you so you have them by Thanksgiving if you're going to give, or Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Yeah. Can you pull this up?
Yeah, it's right there.
So this is my guide from 2024. You see, I had Mitchell 4th.
Yeah.
So I was very high on Mitchell. I'm not surprised that I stopped sharing it. That's fine. I'm not surprised that he was did what he did today. I just think for him, it's putting it all together. You're a Georgia fan. When he was at Georgia, when he was on the field, he would have a big splash play once every, so many plays in between. Texas, it was a little bit more frequent. He definitely was a weapon in that Texas offense. That also had Xavier Worthy. That had the quarterback from Miami, which I can't remember his name. He got the skill set. You can see how at 6'2", 6'3", he's able to go up and get the ball. You see his ability in creating separation. You'd like to see a little bit more concentration. Like he has some of those concentration lapses, which causes some drops.
Yeah.
I think that if he can put that all together, you might have the makings of a good wide receiver too. I don't know if he's ever going to be an alpha in the offense. He was an alpha today at eight receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Mainly why? Because there's no one else to throw the ball to, A. And B, the DB happened to fall on that 156-yard play. Let's call it like it is.
Yeah. He went down too because he caught it like rolling on his ass and then onto his back into the end zone. He went low to get that. But something you said that caught my attention.
Go ahead.
They threw it to him because they have no one else. Now, when you get Garrett and you have Garrett commanding a double team, he's shown the ability to get deep. He's shown the ability to break out of his routes and get open and get separation. How much better can he be when he becomes the number 2 and he's not the focal point like he was today, and he still went for 102 and a tutty?
Yeah, the ability, like I said, the ability that he has to be a stretch X, to play the boundary and really get over the top and create separation like a Z. I think that's going to complement Garrett Wilson really, really well. And complement, whatever third receiver you bring into the fold next year. Maybe that's Mechie. Maybe not. I think probably, if Mechie and Arian Smith round out your team as wide receiver 4 and wide receiver 5, you're in pretty good shape, and you go draft wide receiver 3 in this class, in this 2026 draft. And then you complement that with Mason Taylor, and tight end 2, who I don't, or maybe it's tight end 1 and Mason Taylor becomes tight end 2, or whoever, like another tight end, another weapon, ideally somebody who can split the seam and do a little bit more with the ball in his hand, yards after the catch than Mason Taylor.
Yeah.
You have the makings of a really, really good offense. Again, you got to have running backs in the backfield, so on and so forth. However, none of that matters until you get the quarterback. And, that's why I understand the people who are all about tanking and losing. Like, I get it, because you have to do what in some people's minds, you have to do whatever it takes to secure the quarterback. Now, in my feeble mind, I'll tell you that, yes, I agree with that statement wholeheartedly. You're only as far as your quarterback will take you.
Yeah.
However, I also know in week 12, you're not, week 12 isn't losing you anything. You're not losing a quarterback because you might go ahead and, you could have lost today and you might go ahead and win week 13, 14, and 15. And then what? So that's why I'm not all that upset that we lost today. I like when my team wins, although I do understand how much we need a quarterback. So, it's like a real conundrum. It's a double-edged sword for the Jets, for us Jets fans that are that have been through this for 14 years without a playoff bid. And some of us fans for a lot longer. So,
and I am a big believer that no matter where we end up, we're trading up. If we fall in love with a quarterback, I'm a big believer that we have these assets so we don't have to hear the word no. So, with that being my theory, I want to win more games so we don't have to put the pressure on a new quarterback in New York and anoint him our savior and have a 2-win team, and you have to turn it around. It's all on you. The Jets have been trash. I'd rather stack a couple wins and have the momentum going. And I don't care if I give up another second rounder to jump up another spot or two. And we're going to be a top 10 team. There's no doubt in my mind we're going to be a top 10 team when the draft.
I mean, top 10 in the draft.
Yeah. So I don't care.
I think we're going to be. I think we're going to be anywhere. Listen, we have Miami, which is I think we feasibly can probably say that Miami and New Orleans are winnable games.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take a lot more to go down to Jacksonville and win that game.
Yeah.
And then, Buffalo, the last game of the year is going to be tough because is Buffalo playing for anything? If they're not playing for anything and they're not and they're sitting everyone, then there's a chance you could win that. So
they're going to have to play. They're not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Locked up.
I'm not sure. So I think they have 2 games that are definitely winnable on your schedule yet. So depending on what else happens, you could be picking anywhere from 4th or 5th to 9th or 10th.
Yeah.
I think that's probably where you're going to fall.
Yeah, I think realistically, if we beat Miami, we beat New Orleans, you're probably looking anywhere from 6, 7, 8. And that's a great range to jump up because if the Titans, who don't look like they're capable of winning another football game, end up with number 1, that's the most important part of this, right? The
Well,
Titans having the number 1 pick
yeah.
because they will be sellers. I don't think the Saints, the Browns, those teams won't sell. The Titans will.
Here's the thing, Nick. I think the most important thing is not necessarily where we end up. I think the most important thing is what happens come January 15th when everyone has to declare.
Yeah.
Right? Because like it or not, what the order that we're all falling in love with these quarterbacks right now, it's not set in stone, man. The games might be done, but there's a lot more that happens between now and April's draft.
Yeah.
The smoke screens start coming from the agents and the teams and the workouts and the all-star game circuits and all that stuff. At this time last year, we were talking about, crisis. Shedeur Sanders is going to be the number 2 overall pick, and he ended up going the 5th round.
Yeah.
Let's remember that. So January 15th is the most important day because that's when we'll find out who's really going back to school and who's staying. Because I'll tell you this, if you're in that 6 to 8 range and all 3 of these quarterbacks declare, I don't think you need to trade up. If you're okay with taking whichever one falls to you, I don't think you need to trade up. Now, if you identify as one as your guy and you want to go up and get him, by all means, do it. I personally wouldn't hesitate doing that if I was dead set on one of these guys. If I'm the Jets, I would just avoid using any of the 2027 first-round capital. That's going to be a really special draft.
Yeah.
Not just for quarterbacks. I'm talking top to bottom. Maybe the deepest class that we've seen in 15 years.
Really?
Yeah. You're going to have some. So I hate to use the term blue chip because it's overused.
Yeah.
You're going to have an easy half dozen of them that are not. We're not even delving deep into the quarterback class there.
Yeah.
Now,
you're
going to have
watch much Ohio State football.
Uh-huh.
I was shocked at Smith's frame. I didn't know Smith had
Jeremiah
that.
Smith?
I did not know he was. I watch a lot of SEC, so I'm used to watching Williams. Nicky's with me; he watches Alabama games. I'm used to watching Williams, who's a great receiver,
great receiver in his own right.
Smith and his frame, I was like, oh shit, that would be a great compliment to Garrett down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I see the chat talking here about some quarterbacks. Somebody's asking me about Carson Beck. Day 2. Listen, I think Carson Beck's a fine quarterback. I do. I don't know if he's ever going to be an NFL starter, but if you wanted to bring Carson Beck in on day 3 and groom him to be your, like your Kellen Clemens, like your permanent backup guy that knows your system in and out, you could do a lot worse than Carson Beck.
Okay.
Diego Pavia from Vanderbilt, he's a guy that, he's getting some Heisman. He's getting some Heisman love. I don't know if he's small. I don't think he's going to even reach 6 foot, but he's also, he'll turn 26 years old in his rookie season. Like, what are we doing? We just saw the kid from New Orleans get drafted in the 2nd round. Relatively the same age, Shuck, and I don't think that Pavia has as much arm talent as Shuck has. So,
okay. Shout out to ISU.
ISU.
We're 15 entries with Gifting 5 on a Victory Jet Day. They went to Freddie McKnight, New York Jets superfan, 69.94. JT 420. Happy 420 to all of you that celebrate every day. Johnny Ace and Cuca Lake Jet fan.
Nice.
Shout out to you, ISU. Ladies and gentlemen, if you gift 5, you get 15 raffle entries. Get your ass on that wheel. That's what she said. Boss Girl says, Dom C, is this a deep wide receiver draft class? Now, I know it's good at the top end. There's some really elite prospects, but is it a deep class?
Yeah, I think it's pretty deep. I think it's a lot better than last year's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that I think that the top 3 guys in this class probably clear. I shouldn't say that. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think I definitely had Jordan Tyson. He would have cleared any of the receivers from last year. I had, Abeka and Tez. I mean, Tet ranked right up there at the top as my only first round wide receivers. But Jordan Tyson clears him for me grade wise. Mekhi Lemon, I think, is criminally underrated. I think the measurements are going to be really, really important for him. But you're looking at a clone of Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm not just saying that because they both went to USC. I just think that's his skill set. Go see ball, catch ball, from the slot dominant guy, a little bit undersized, but plays bigger. I think you're gonna see a lot of good receivers. Guys like Deion Burks from Oklahoma, guys like Dane Key from Nebraska. I think guys like Casey Concepcion from Texas A&M. I mean, that he might go a little earlier, but I think the other 2 are going to be like really good, impactful players come day 3. I'd probably say there's about a dozen receivers that I'd be completely comfortable with in this draft.
What about the kid? Just because he's local and I pay attention to that. What about the kid Strong from Rutgers? Have you done any work on him yet?
Yeah,
what do you think?
I haven't. I have watched him a little bit. I haven't done a full write up and a full because I think he might go back to school. So at this stage, like, when I do my draft evals and breakdowns, I start with the guys I know that are coming out before the guys that are questionable. So
you wait for them to declare.
Yeah. I'll wait for him to declare. I mean, I have some exposure to him. I think he's good. I think he's a little bit slow. He's going to be, your typical like old school like possession type X. You know what I mean? He's fine he's fine at Rutgers. I think at the next level, he's going to have some serious trouble separating. So but there's a role and a place for guys like that.
Yeah.
Pat Bryant, who played for Illinois last year, was drafted in round 2 or 3 for Denver. I think it's a perfect comp for the kid Strong. I think he is just like that, and he was drafted in round 2 or 3, and he's ultimately going to be the Cortland Sutton replacement. So he doesn't see a lot of time this year, but in 2 years, he could be a player. And I think Strong is the same thing.
All right. Let's go with another good question. Okay. This is if Moore, Simpson, and Mendoza are all declared. Who are your best quarterback options outside of that top 3?
Yeah, well, again, for me, it's going to be what happens and who declares, right? Okay. Because Mendoza for me is is my favorite quarterback in the class. He's my highest rated quarterback. I have Ty Simpson second. I have Darian Mensah from Duke third. I think Mensah's definitely going back to school. I have Dante Moore fourth, and I have Brendan Sorsby from Cincinnati, who, if you don't know him, get to know him. Again, I think he's another guy that's going to go back to school, but people are going to be talking about Sorsby next year as the next big thing. Like, he's 6'3.5", 230 pounds, dual threat guy with an absolute cannon on his arm.
Yeah.
He just has to learn, and he's young. He just turned 22. He just has to learn how to not have that blow up moment that he has time from time, game to game. Where he'll be having a great game, he'll be playing great, he'll throw great, and then he'll just make one bonehead decision, and it kind of just, spirals. So I think him going back to school and transferring, probably hitting the portal, is going to be really, really good for him. But he's a guy I would love to get my hands on because I think the talent is there. So of the guys that I Boss Girl that are coming out, I'm still a fan. I know a lot of people aren't. I'm still a fan of Drew Allar. I don't want to turn the keys over to him. Like, if you told me, and I'm just throwing names out here, so I'm not suggesting this or something like that, because I personally can't stand the the back and forth like with Mac Jones being a Jet. I just can't do it. But if you had a veteran, a new veteran bridge type like that, and you wanted to take Alar and just kind of sit him and let him really learn how to, really learn the NFL system. I don't think that would be the worst idea. Even if it's a fourth round, third round, fourth round pick, because you can't teach some of the traits that he has. The arm is ridiculous, 6'5", 237. Young, out there. He can play. He just has to learn. The physical gifts are they're obvious. He's just got to learn the mental part of it. So if you had a good bridge quarterback, I wouldn't mind a guy like him later on. I also wouldn't mind, and this is going to kind of be a little bit from left field, a guy I really like in this class. I mean, he's a day 3 guy. He's not like someone I'm pining for here. Don't sleep on Jalen Daniels from Kansas. Jalen Daniels from Kansas, now he's undersized. If he's pushing 6 foot, I'll be surprised. He's probably about 220 pounds. So he's built very like Jalen Milrow-esque, like real solid, like a bowling ball. But man, this guy is as dual threat, like a dual threat gunslinger. Like he can really, really hurt you with his arm or with his legs. He's the closest thing that I've seen to Lamar Jackson in a long, long time. Now, again, he's small, he's undersized, he's got he's got some medical issues. He missed a lot of last season with a back injury. But the talent is just too hard to it's just too hard to give not give any credit to. So I like Jalen Daniels a lot. Like I said, I like Alar, but Alar's a guy that he's a long-term project. I'm drafting him for physical skills and let that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
For those of you in the chat, if you haven't already, I dropped the link. That's Dom's YouTube page, Project Prospect with Dom C. I pinned it. Go over there, take a second, subscribe to that. This is draft season coming up. This is Dom's time to shine, pun intended. And you guys hear me mention him all the time. If I have a question, if I want the truth about a player, Dom knows it's in the group chat on Twitter or text or a phone call. Dom, what do you think about this guy? He kind of came across my page. I'm looking at him. What do you think? And he'll be like, yes, that's a guy that you could utilize. He'll fit in the scheme. Or he'll be like, fuck that. No, don't watch him anymore. Dom will tell me the truth right away with what he thinks about a player. So, and I always pass that information on to you guys, but go get it from the source yourself. Dom will be breaking down a lot of players, releasing mocks, doing player breakdowns, and everything you need to get yourself ready for the draft. Because as Jets fans, with multiple picks in the first 2 rounds, the next 2 years, Dom is feasting. This is better than a Super Bowl for Dom. 5 first-round picks in 2 years. That's like, you got to give Dom a ring after this. So go subscribe to his channel. Show him some love, please. And those of you that are here, as our friend Stack, who's back on American soil, would say, the math isn't mathing. We got 57 of you watching right now, and we only have 51 likes. So do your part. Hit the like button, please. Don't forget, super chats. $5 and up. Get you on our raffle wheel. Gifted memberships. Listen, today's the day to get your entries in. ISU did it earlier. He gifted 5. It got him 15 raffle entries coming up in the next couple of weeks. So today, a Jet victory day, they don't happen often, Dom. Today's a day that you want to contribute to this channel.
Yeah, so, you're right.
And since he did that, I'm going to drop one as well, since ISU did gift 5 earlier. So thank you, ISU. I appreciate you. Now, swinging it back to the current Jets that we have right now. And mine went to G Money. Give me your assessment of where Aaron Glenn was in September as a head coach and where he is now. Where do you think he's starting to get better? And where are you looking at like, I need you to improve here a little bit still, buddy?
Listen, I'm gonna hold my assessment for Aaron Glenn until after the season. I point blank, like today, I didn't think Aaron Glenn did a very good job at some things. I don't want to be like, poo-poo on Glenn. I know he's not getting fired, but I don't know, and I'm just being honest here. I don't know if Aaron Glenn is the guy yet. There's still a lot for me to be sure. There's no doubt that I think he can, motivate and get his guys wanting to play for him. That's absolutely evident. I'm not sure if he's got it all yet, or if it's still a work in progress in terms of the game management stuff. Like, tell me, with 12 seconds left, you're on the whatever you're on, where it's going to be a 50-yard field goal. Why you line up to throw the ball? What are you doing with it? Right?
Oh, you're just throwing it out of bounds over the head. You're running time so that when you kick the field goal, game over.
It's 12 seconds. It's 12 seconds. You know what happened? False start. The whole line jumped except for center.
Yeah.
And now you move it back to a 55, 56 yard field goal. Like, it's that kind of stuff that like drives me a little crazy. I think I haven't really been in tune, and I understand that he follows the analytics and stuff. I haven't really been in tune sometimes. Like, when he goes for it, I might not. When he doesn't go for it, I might. So I think that's all a work in progress. I will say I'm more comfortable with him there right now than I was with Saleh towards the end of the Saleh regime.
Okay.
For me, I think I feel like Saleh really wanted to be hands off. Right. And I don't know if that was the position that Woody and Joe Douglas and Aaron Rodgers kind of put Saleh in, where it was, Saleh was just a puppet man. I don't think Aaron Glenn's a puppet. I think Aaron Glenn's making decisions based on what he wants and how he wants to do it. So, some of the X's and O's stuff, I still question. That's going to be a learning process. I'm curious to see how he handles his staff going into this offseason, because I know a lot of people want to move on from Steve Wilkes. Let me just remind everyone, we wanted to all move on from Jeff Ulbrich after year one when that team had no defensive talent. So keep that in mind as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at the way the defense has progressed, I don't, unless there's a major fall off or a war that breaks out between Glenn and Wilkes, I think you're going to see Wilkes back. I would be surprised if they move on with where we are now. And knowing that we need to add some more talent, right? We need to get better at middle linebacker. You can call the greatest play in the world, but if Jamian Sherwood doesn't step up to cover that backside cutback, you look like you're bad. Oh, we just gave up a 30-yard run. The defensive coordinator sucks. Well, no, jackass. Go watch the film. Sherwood had cement shoes, never stepped up to fill the hole for the cutback, and that's why Robinson broke it. The play call was great because they flowed to it. They stopped the front side run, and when Bijan cut back, Sherwood just didn't make the play. So if you have a better middle linebacker, I'm a big proponent of moving Sherwood to off ball and go get yourself a true Mike middle linebacker.
Yeah,
Whether it's Styles or Hill or Allen, go get me a do-it-all middle linebacker.
Yeah, I'll say this, man. I've been I've been a really, really big advocate for Jamian Sherwood. He was bad today. He hasn't been very good. He hasn't been very good this year at all. Maybe
wrong scheme, you think?
What's that?
Wrong scheme for him?
Maybe it's the wrong scheme. Maybe there's just a lot going on. Again, still being a younger player. Like, I know he's been in the league. This is his fourth year now.
Fairly new at the position.
Yeah, carrying the green dot and not have. I think it shows how much it helps to have a guy like CJ Mosley on the field next to you. How he cleaned up so many of the or disguised so many of the wrongs with that what happened in the linebacker room, and Sherwood's just not capable of disguising that stuff yet. So Sherwood's been objectively bad this season. Quincy's been hurt. and he is what he is. I think Quincy Williams is feast or famine. He's going to make a bunch of really nice plays using that speed and athleticism, and make a play in the backfield or something like that. He's going to get burned in some pass plays. Like, that's just what you're going to get from Quincy Williams.
Yeah.
And the other guys, Mayanoa, Kiki Mayanoa, he's been coming on the past couple weeks. I thought he played really well last week. I don't remember even seeing him on the field all that much today, to be honest with you. I'll see in the replay how much he played. But to me, I think that's where I think you're right, and Glenn's got to bring in another linebacker that can really, really fit the run like CJ could. Like CJ could really fill holes and take on blockers and stack and shed and play run defense. Because right now you don't have that. Sherwood's a great side on the sideline guy. Quincy's not long for to be a Jet. I think this is probably his last year. I think we can honestly say that. And Mayanoa hasn't shown me enough yet that I'm comfortable there. If you want to have him as your third guy, then Marcelino, McCray Ball, him and Mayanoa are good depth pieces. But I'm with you. I want to get a nice big, 6'2", 6'3", 235-pound linebacker.
Yeah.
That will come down, give you a forearm shiver, and send you into next week.
Yeah.
And just like kick kick the shit out of you inside of the tackle box.
Yeah. Now, when you're putting your rankings together, and you start to find fits for the New York Jets, remember what I'm going to tell you right now.
Shoot.
For the defensive side of the ball, you have to put a category with, is this a badass motherfucker? If it's yes, I think those are the guys that Glenn is going to bring in. Like, he's not going to get the soft, and I say soft referencing a Sauce partner. They're not going to go for those types of players. If you're on the field for an Aaron Glenn team, you better be able to hit. You better not be afraid of contact. You better not be making business decisions. Business decision playing for Aaron Glenn is you go take the tackle on, you go take the ball carrier on, head on, and go make the tackle. So add that category in there and credit me with, is this a badass motherfucker? And if it is, that will be the guys that the New York Jets are going to target. That's your cheat sheet, right? I'm tired of hearing, does he love football? Is he a nice guy? Will he answer questions about Taylor Swift songs as he's coming off the field from practice? No, I don't care about any of that shit. I want guys who are going to go out there and make plays. I don't want guys who are in trouble off the field. And I don't want any of that nonsense. But I want guys who are just badasses on the field and will do whatever it takes. They're not afraid of contact. They'll take on the collision and they'll break off of it and still go make the play. I want an unstoppable force on defense. And I think that's how you get it. You got to play violent. You can't play defense in the NFL finesse. And I think too many teams started going that route. Like, I feel that the Robert Saleh scheme is more finesse. And it's all about, listen, you got to be able to be technically sound with what you do, but you can also play with more violence. And I think that Aaron Glenn wants that violence, because if you're violent, you can make up for your technical flaws by being violent and exploding. I don't know. It's just what I see. I feel that Brownlee personifies what they want to be. I think Briggs personifies what they want to be. And if you add 6, 7 more guys who play with that violence, you don't need the big names. You need that violence. And I just think that's going to be their true identity going forward.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. I wholeheartedly agree. I think that that's Aaron Glenn's type, But you look all around, and when he was in New Orleans, when he was a coach in New Orleans, they had it into Mario Davis, right? When he was in Detroit, they went and they spent the first round pick and drafting Jack Campbell. Those are your big physical, middle linebacker, Mikes that really just controlled, the game and play physical and play violent. Yeah, and that's why I think you're going to see some safeties coming in. Malachi Moore, undersized, yes. Not gonna wow you with his straight line speed, but he comes and plays downhill like a motherfucker. He fills gaps like a motherfucker, dude. That guy plays violent. He plays fast and he plays violent. So I'm with you, man. I'm with you wholeheartedly.
Nick Folk was money in more ways than one from Sports Tax Man. Folk's winning field goal was worth 125,000. His made field goal incentives with 22 he gets 125. With 24 he gets 250. 27 he makes 375, and at 30 made field goals he'll make 500,000. So Folk was
Wow.
money in multiple ways today. And shout
Interesting.
out to him, man. Good for him coming back and having a year, especially after missing the first kick. Well, was I the only one sitting there thinking, like, great, now the penalty? I'm like, God damn, he went from being perfect, and now they just pushed him back to almost to the range where he missed earlier. And
It was longer. It was longer than the kick, but
he missed 52, right? He made 56.
Yeah. But it was going the opposite side of the field. And you've been in MetLife, man. It's, depending on which way you're going, you might be able to hit from 56. You might be able to miss from 46 going the other way.
Yeah, and with the rain too, obviously that'll affect it.
Yep.
But good for him, man. If this is his last hurrah, good for him. He's
So
a great guy.
interesting fun fact. I didn't know this. Maybe you did.
What do you got?
Do you know that Aaron Glenn played with Nick Folk?
Yes. Yeah, he said that in his post game when he gave him the game ball.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he's like, I played with this motherfucker. The Jets, of course, censored that part, and they just put up the word guy. But how many coaches have we had where we've seen the post game live? You can't do that with Aaron Glenn at head coach when you're the Jets, right? All right, we got to take it to the editing room before we post this out there. But yeah. I love the passion. That's how I am. I'll say anything at any time, right? I don't care. But I love that Aaron Glenn is non-filtered. I love that he's authentic to himself. And I'm seeing a team respond to him. And I'm seeing a team play for him. And we were 0-7, and we won that game in Cincinnati that me and Nikki drove out to. And when I saw all the clips on that night, and I'm like, this team hasn't given up on him.
Yeah.
This team believes in him. This team is buying in. And it's when it turns, quote me right now, guys, at 1 hour and 2 minutes tonight. When this turns, it's going to turn quick. Because once they get the pieces in that fit what they want to do, I think you're going to see a team that very quickly gets up there into playoff contention. And they don't have enough of those guys yet. They don't have enough Brownlees and Briggs on defense. They're working with half of that defense is still Salah's type. And when this offseason, when they bring in those guys that fit what they want to do, you're going to see a quick turnaround with the Jets. That's my belief with this, because I just think that they got a good plan. They just need to get the right players to execute it. And you're seeing flashes with that. Now let's talk offense. Tanner Engstrom. You're seeing what could be a real NFL passing attack in flashes. Granted, Taylor's not that guy. Granted, Garrett Wilson's not there yet. But You're seeing Mason Taylor has flashes, right? When you get Garrett in, and now you have someone to double, and now you can take advantage of mismatches throughout the rest of the offense, because now Mitchell bumps down to a 2, Mechie a 3, and so on. You're going to have the ability. Example, a matchup like Kyle Pitts today against us, where they just kept feeding him the ball because they said, that's our go-to. That's what we're going to do. That's how we can exploit it. Bijan in the run, in the stretch run, and Pitts get him the ball in his hands. We're going to be able to do that soon, because when you have that alpha like Garrett, it'll make everyone else's job easier. It'll make their matchups easier to exploit.
Yeah, I get that. I can get down with what you're talking about, Nikki.
I do, Luppy. I really do. I'm waiting so long for this team to win that I want to believe. I say all the time, Dom, if I put all my time, money, effort, and energy into a hobby, I want to be positive about it.
Mm-hmm.
If I wanted to be negative about something, Dom, I'd still be married. That's why I'm always happy and I'm always smiling, Dominic. So
Funny.
Anything that I usually have you for an hour or so. How much time do I have?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good for a little while.
Okay, cool. let's talk about Tanner Engstrand. When you see the scheme
Mhm.
and you see what they're trying to do, and you're a guy who studies a lot of film,
Mhm.
people have questioned him, and I kept saying, and as many others did, you really don't have a true feeling of what it was going to be with Fields holding the ball 3.5, 4 seconds. I know it's shitty weather today, and I know you haven't been able to break down the film yet. But between last week and this week, are you starting to be like, all right, there's something here. There's a method to the madness with this offense.
Yeah, listen, I think he's had his moments of like head scratching, game play calling.
Yeah,
Buffalo week 2 was, a perfect example.
yeah,
Some stuff, but like he's maximized the one thing that Engstrand has done is, he schemes guys open. You know, he gets guys into advantageous matchups or situations, and he can scheme a guy open. Has he had the quarterback that can really deliver the ball all the time when these guys are open? No, and that's with Justin Fields and even with Tyrod. Like, Tyrod had a couple gimmies today that he missed.
yeah.
So on and so forth. But I think we haven't really seen everything that Tanner Engstrom it can cook up. He doesn't push the ball. I mean, we haven't seen him push the ball vertically a lot, which I think you need to do. Especially with a West Coast offense, horizontal principles where everything kind of moves sideline to sideline, your route structures and whatnot. To keep it honest, you got and to really help like open up your run game a little bit, you got to be able to take whole shots. You got to be able to stretch defenses a little bit and take those vertical plays, even if they're just go routes that don't pan out or something like that. You got to keep defenses honest, and we haven't done that very well. I think that's going to open up some of what he can do with the running backs. I think now we're starting to see him utilize the screen game more and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I don't think I think Tanner Engstrom has built a very, very good, solid base of what he can offer as a coach. I can't wait to see him with some real personnel.
Yeah.
Like a full gamut of personnel.
The big fella, ladies and gentlemen, $20 super chat gets him 12 raffle entries. Thank you, big fella. Nick and the great Dom C on a victory Sunday. What could be better? We are improving more and more. Angstrand was better than last week, but still needs to show more. I don't give a fuck. I want wins. And that's how the big fella would say it. Yeah, I mean, he's 100% right. Angstrand is improving, and you're starting to see that with Taylor. They can get the ball downfield. And when you can get the ball downfield, and then when you add Garrett in, who I can't emphasize this enough, when you have that guy who commands a double team, and then you get Mitchell one-on-one, you see now Mitchell can get open. And when you get Garrett on one side of the field, Dom, and he's got to be bracketed by the safety, or you're playing a zone and you drag Mechie, and then he catches the damn ball, and then he can turn it upfield, you're going to see some big explosive plays that might be short 4 or 5 yard passes downfield. But having that threat of Garrett is going to open everyone else up. It's going to make their job much easier. And I think Angstrand is sitting there like, let me just get him back. Let me get a few games with them, and let's really put a good scheme down on paper or on the field and not just on paper.
Yeah.
Rick Kent, ladies and gentlemen, if the big fella, one legend, steps up, Rick Kent's like, hey, this is my co-legend. We do things together. Rick Kent just gifted 5 that went to Sir Luca, Wild Wave, Mike Rubino, Jerry Moore, and Ricky, New York Live. Now, one player I want to get into, pause, no Diddy. Chris B says the cornerback from Ohio State, Davison Igbinosun, went to the high school at Union, same school as him. Now, 2 of my good friends, Chris, they were probably there when you were there. Lou Grasso was the head coach. His brother Danny was the defensive coordinator. I grew up with Danny. We played youth sports together. They're now at Colonia. Lou's the athletic director of Colonia, and Danny's the defensive coordinator over there. Both coached this kid. And they said from an early stage that they knew instantly he was going to be an NFL player. And he went to Ole Miss at first, and now he's transferred over to Ohio State. I do mocks, as you know, Dom. At the end of the night, that's my clear my head. I'm either playing free blackjack in the app, or I'm doing this to just kind of decompress after I take my melatonin. I see him mid to late round 1 in a lot of mocks, right?
Yeah, probably a little early for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
All right.
I got a third round.
Let me throw this one to you too.
Okay.
Do you think that's a possibility for us? Maybe early round 2, or
I have a third round grade on him.
really?
Yeah, I do, which is not bad. Which is fine. He has a really elite, like high level blend of like size, length, speed. Like if you were building a cornerback in the lab, Davison Igbenusson is what you want. I think he's like 6'2", 200 pounds, 34-inch arms.
Big arms too.
Yeah,
I saw him Saturday.
He's got
in Michigan. He's chiseled.
He can, the thing I like about him, he's obviously physical. He's a really, really good tackler. Probably the best tackler out of all the defensive backs, cornerbacks in the class. So the perimeter, he's not afraid. He's gonna be part of the run fitting on the perimeter for whatever team he lands with. He's got the buttery hips where he can flick and run and get to top speed real quick. Flip his hips and turn and run. The one thing I thought last year was that he was really, really grabby. He's still a little too grabby.
Yeah.
He's still really physical, through the receiver's route, so on and so forth. So he's going to be called for a ton of flags. If we think Sauce and all his hand fighting was grabby, like Igbenusson's that and then some. So he needs to develop a little bit more discipline. But the traits and the size and the speed and all that there, it's to me, it's a third round corner. I think he's a boundary guy, which I personally, always, seem to give like a little bit more of a nick up, a check mark, I should say. Give him a little kick up my ranking, so on and so forth. I like the guys that can play on the boundary, and I don't think he's scheme specific either. He can play, he can play off man, he can play zone, he can play press if you need him to press.
Okay.
Again, he's he works very well on the outside, sometimes too well. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And that's going to be a hard thing for him to kind of reinvent himself, because it's not just a game or a situation. I probably got 14 or 15 games of him in over the past 2 years, and it's a systemic thing, with his grabbiness. And listen, he might just be, and that just might be it. Jarvis Brownlee, he's real grabby too. You take the good with the bad. But it's
you
different.
See any transition to safety with how physical he is, or do you think strictly?
He's got the size. He's got the size to do it, and I think he's got the physicality where he can come down and fit the run really well. That might be that wouldn't be a bad bad option. He might be a little too small. No, I shouldn't even say that. 6'2", 195, 200 pounds. I think he'd probably, that fits the bill. So yeah, man, that's it's not a bad call right there.
Just because I want physicality, and I see him and I see his build, and I'm looking at him on Saturday, and I'm paying attention to Styles and Reese and then all the players on Ohio State, and I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, would that guy transition to safety? But thank you for in-depth answer. Joe the Jet G says, this team needs a QB now. I like that we won, but I have no idea what the plan is. Are we going to wait to get our guy, or are we going to trade up to get QB1? We kind of touched on that earlier, and just to put a quick summary on that, but Joe, thank you for being a member of the channel for so long. Thank you to everyone who's been contributing to the show tonight and all the time. Appreciate you. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. We are close, folks. We're getting closer. We're 5 away from 1900. Help us get there tonight. That would be really awesome of you to celebrate 1900 on a Jet victory day. But basically what we said was Dom's date to really pay attention is January 15th. That's when you have to declare by, and we'll know what Simpson and Moore and others are going to be doing. And then we'll know where we're drafting also. Something I think that's a really big part of this is the Charles Gorman Colts going on a late season shitstorm. Just stack L after L after L, fall out of the playoffs, and make that other first round pick, which when we traded Sauce was projected to be 32, Dom. And now
it's 21.
Yeah, they're moving up. They're moving up a little bit.
Did you see, by the way, and I'm not like laughing that it happened, but did you see that Sauce went down with a non-contact injury?
Yeah, right before you came on, there was a report. They believe the Achilles is intact. They believe it's a calf strain, but that's something you don't want to mess with. Those of you who follow the NBA and Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant, if you don't take care of that calf injury the right way, pop goes the weasel. So you want to make sure if you're Sauce, listen, I'm not going to ever root for anyone. Even if I hate your guts, I'm never going to root for an injury. However, injuries come along. And the fact that we are rooting against the Colts as a team, I think Sauce's best interest is to sit out the rest of the season, rest, and be ready for next year. We don't need you out there getting hurt, Sauce. Miss the playoffs, Colts, at all costs, please.
Yeah. Whatever it takes, man. Whatever.
Yeah, if say we end up at 8 and you got to move up. If you have that 17 instead of 26, that's a massive value jump to help you move up to go get your quarterback. Oh, we'll get to that, boss girl. We will get to future suckage at a later date. Don't worry. We're going to worry about current suckage right now. And stick around for what did we learn later. And I'm sure that sentence will pop back up, as many things will pop back up if there's that act going on. So, Dom.
Yes, sir.
Is Breece Hall Jet in 26? And if so, how?
You know what? I'll say this, which if you asked me 6 weeks ago, I wouldn't have said. I hope so.
Same.
I hope so. How is he a Jet? I think he gets tagged. I think whether it's the franchise or transition, and ultimately it's a placeholder while they work out the details of a contract.
Yeah.
And they can do that. Yes, everyone's going to say, $13 million is way too much for a running back, blah, 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 but they're not going to necessarily.
Rubber.
Oh, it's going to be, the Jets are going to utilize it as a placeholder.
Yeah.
Because they got more money than they know what to do with right now.
Yeah.
So they can tag him, hold that place, and then decide if they want to renegotiate a long-term contract or however long it takes. It gives them that flexibility. But yes, I hope he is. I hope that the Jets and Tanner Engstrom start using him on third down a little bit more. Like, I love Isaiah Davis as much as anyone, but God, can we leave Breece on the field for some third downs? I don't care.
Can you put Davis in for first down?
Yeah.
Can you put him in for first down and then you have Breece fresh for third? Like, can you flip it? It doesn't have to be Davis as your all the time first down back, but key moments of the game where you need a drive late in the second quarter. And you want to go down and get those points before the half, or an opening drive at a third quarter, right? When you get that kickoff, do it.
Yeah,
and that first round carry, and then use Breece as the weapon because you don't have Garrett right now. Breece is your second greatest weapon, besides Garrett in the passing attack, and you're not utilizing it the right way.
On top of it, I'll say it, even when our running back core is completely healthy, which is not obviously with Braylon out for the year. Isaiah Davis might be the best runner between the tackles that we have.
Yeah.
I know everyone says big bruising back, Braylon Allen, blah, 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 but he doesn't necessarily run like a big bruising back. He just happens to be big.
Yeah.
Isaiah Davis can get skinny and he can find holes and, he's a very creative guy inside the tackle.
Shifty. He's
Yeah,
very shifty. He's light-footed.
yeah.
Like he can bounce through the hole, so to
Not he
say,
he
instead
doesn't
of just
have
straight ahead.
the thing with him, man, is he's just missing that third gear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's only probably like a 4.5. You
Yeah.
know, he's not 4.3 like Brees. That's
Yeah.
the big difference. Is that
But
put
Curtis
it
Martin didn't have that though, right? Like Curtis Martin very rarely. Curtis Martin to me was king of the 8 to 13-yard run. But I'm not putting any of our running backs on that level. I'm just saying that you can be successful without having that Adrian Peterson breakaway speed.
yeah. But I would exactly that. I would utilize him more on some of the early downs, and it doesn't have to be everyone, but maybe like one series out of every 3 or 4, flip it. Put Brees in third down or
Yeah.
second and long situations, and put Isaiah Davis in on the early down
Yeah.
situations.
You want to do one of those jet sweeps, you want to do one of those other types of running plays that you do where you get creative, keep Brees out. And then if you get 3rd and 6 or something like that, now you're bringing in a fresh Brees who can be a factor. And even if you don't utilize him,
Yeah.
the defense is going to have to account for him because what he can do in space. So if you can draw that safety over and then get vertical because the safety now is accounting for Brees, there you go. Complementary offense, Don, for crying out loud.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what we need, baby.
Yes, sir.
So anything that I haven't asked you that you're like, hey, dumbass, why didn't you bring this up? And chat, submit any questions, super chats. We'll cut the line, get you on right away. If we got a few more minutes with Dom, if you have any questions that we haven't covered yet, shoot those in. But anything that you're looking at?
No, I'm curious. You know what? Not so much for this year. I think
Okay.
this year is where it's wait and see what like let's see what you got in some of these young kids. But I'm curious to see what the offseason brings in terms of some positional groups. I'm curious to see how they if they address or how they address the linebacker room. Like we told you, I think the linebacker room might be the worst top to bottom room that we have out of all of them in our team. Man, maybe the quarterbacks and then the linebackers. I'm curious to see how they or what their plan is for the interior of the offensive line too. We talk about the bookend tackles.
Okay.
We talk about Tip, right? And I said
Extension, right? You got to extend him.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to stand on a pedestal here, Nick, but because from our group chat.
I'll say it so you don't have to. All right, I'll do it for you.
Go ahead.
Dom said from day one, Tippmann is more natural at a right guard. And now I've referenced this many times. I give you credit all the time when I bring it up. I say your name, so it's not the first time the chat's hearing this. But yeah, Dom has been very big on he's more natural at right guard with his size. He'll be more fluid, and you can describe it better than I can. But
yeah, exactly.
I've summarized it.
Exactly that. I just think his movement skills are so good, and they're wasted at center. And plus, like the fact that he's long legged and 6'5", like he loses leverage battle. He doesn't do very, very good, with power, where he's out leveraged. And as a center, you gotta do that. Like, how did Jason Kelsey play at 290 pounds for so long? Because he knew how to.
Saturday wasn't big either with the Colts, right?
No, a lot of those guys, they knew how to turn their body and use leverage to their advantage.
Lindemann's not the biggest, right? All-state wrestler.
All-state wrestler, yeah, you're right about that.
So
I'm curious to see how they address that. What they're going to have to make decisions on. Are they bringing back Simpson? Are they keeping Tip at guard? Are they bringing back AVT? Or are they bringing back all three and they're going to move Tippmann back to center? So that's
you can't do that, right? You can't do that after Tippmann's success this year.
Yeah, I would listen. There's a couple guys that I think I would go like all out if. And it's a big if.
Okay.
If they became free agents, or actually hit free agency, I think that Linderbaum's one of them.
I am on record as saying that he is my dream, and I would pay him like a tackle if Baltimore fucks around and lets him hit free agency, make them find out. Structure that deal so that in year 2, in 27, when we have 207 million, you pay him 30 million that year. Just make it so that it's so ridiculous that they can't match the contract.
Yeah, there's two guys that I think I would go all in, no holds barred. Like I don't care, call it a jet tax. I'm just overpaying.
Yeah.
Linderbaum would be one. Leo
Agreed.
Chenal, the linebacker from Kansas City, he would be
Yeah.
another one.
Really?
Yeah, he's like I said, he's that. You talk about that big physical presence downhill.
Yeah.
He's 6'3", probably close to 250. Can blitz. Stuff like that. Stuff that fits what the defense.
That's me, Dom.
6'3", 250.
Yeah, I was a defensive tackle a couple years ago when we met, but now I'm down 6'2" and a half. I found out not too long ago. So
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I've gone from 382 Sam Adams down to now Leo Chenal. That's quite the transition in life.
It's beautiful. So I think I think those are two names that I would be all in on if they ever reach free agency.
Okay. Now, let's say the Jets end up at 8.
Pick number 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think, I know you haven't done the full assessment yet, but with where you're at now, do you think Mendoza's worth trading up for? Or are you going to, where are you with Mendoza? Because you turned me on to Mendoza. You brought him up early on to me. And you said to me after week 0, watch this guy. You're going to love him. You said to me, I'll never forget, this is your guy. This is the guy that you're going to love.
Yeah.
And you were 100% right.
Well, listen, I liked Mendoza last year. I did. I thought he was actually really good last year too. But he needed to go back to school, obviously. And I'm glad that he did, because all the stuff that he had trouble with last year, he cleaned up on, and he got better at the stuff that he was good and shined while at Cal last year.
Nice. I like the adjective.
Yeah, there. Am I going to go trade up from Mendoza? I don't know if you're going to have to be honest with you.
Really?
I don't. I really don't. There's something in me, ingrained in me that let's have this conversation on January 15th. Let's see who's coming out. Because I think that if Dante Moore comes out, although I think Mendoza is quarterback 1 in this class, and everyone's got their own opinion, and that's fine. There is no right or wrong. Like your opinion is your opinion. So in my opinion, I think Mendoza's clearly the wide receiver 1. But I think the NFL teams are going to really, really like Dante Moore a lot. So if he comes out, which I don't think he will, if I had to guess right now, Nick, I think he goes back to school. And I think Simpson and Mendoza come out of the big 3 that we're talking about.
Yeah.
There's others that are still on the fence and so forth. But my guess is that Simpson and Mendoza come out. They're all eligible to go back. My guess is Simpson and Mendoza come out and Moore goes back to school. But if I were to be wrong on that and Moore were to come out, I think it's going to play very well in the Jets' hands. Because I think teams are going to want the the younger, probably a little bit more athletic, definitely livelier arm that Dante Moore offers than Mendoza. And I just think that some people are going to see the upside being a lot more on Dante Moore than Mendoza. Although for me, I know everyone's waiting for this Ohio State matchup, next week or whatnot. And I think, I think you're going to really see a lot of what he's made of. But I've seen it in Cal. I've seen it in Cal. I've seen it now numerous times in Indiana, where the guy's a winner. He steps up in the biggest of situations and he just produces, man. So
all right. Let me give you this question then. Let me Jets have the number 1 pick. all three quarterbacks declare, who's the best fit for what you see with what Tanner Angstrand wants to run and their skill sets? Who do you think fits this Jets team right now the best?
I think Mendoza does.
Yeah.
I think Mendoza is your prototypical West Coast offense. Timing, his timing's impeccable. The anticipatory throws are impeccable. You're not asking him to, fire the ball. He doesn't have the strong, although he doesn't have a weak arm. He's got an NFL arm. He can make all the throws.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a howitzer at the bottom, at the end of his arms, and he's not asked to push the ball deep, but he's asked to be on time, in rhythm, and throw with anticipation. I don't think there's a quarterback in this class who does it better than Mendoza. He's going to work very well on that horizontal plane that Tanner Angstrom likes to run, build his route concepts off of.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mouse Killer says, can Linderbaum pull like Mawai? I will say this, then I'll kick it to you. I've never seen any center pull like Mawai. Mawai is the greatest pulling center that I've ever seen. So, and I don't know if Baltimore with Derrick Henry is more like straight ahead. I haven't seen Linderbaum pull a lot, but I don't watch a lot of Baltimore. But I mean, you're talking the greatest pulling center of all time when you say Mawai.
Yeah.
And then we got spoiled because then we had Mangold, who wasn't too damn shabby either.
Yeah.
And I'm upset about this. I haven't spoken about this on air, but this came out this week. He didn't make the final 25. He didn't make this round for the semifinalists for the NFL Hall of Fame. And
who Nick Mangold is talking?
Yeah. Now, that one bothered me. I've always thought he's been deserving. I think he's got the resume, and I don't know when the voting took place, but that one stung me a little bit when I saw.
Yeah, but you know what? The offensive linemen always have a hard go of it. There's still some really good offensive linemen that are not in. Like, do you remember? And part of it is he played for the Jets. We weren't very good, right?
Yeah, but
didn't win anything.
He was respected.
He was respected, but again, it's the offensive lineman's not flashy. You play for a team that hasn't won anything, so we'll see. We'll see if he gets nominated or if he has to wait till the Veterans Committee or however that works. I don't know how that all works, but there's some.
The Veterans Committee is 25 years.
Oh, is it?
Am I thinking that's how Klecko got in? It's after 25 years they nominate people.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think he's going to get in, and I think within 10 years, I think eventually he'll do it.
Willie Anderson is still not in. He might have been the best offensive lineman I have ever seen play.
Better than Munoz?
Interior.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Willie Anderson, best interior. Huh. All right.
So
I'm trying to think. Now I'm a little biased, but I thought Alan Faneca.
Faneca was good too. Yeah.
I think Faneca, what he brought to the Jets, and how he helped bring Mangold along early on with not just that there was a lot of these videos came out when Nick unfortunately passed away, but he said that he taught him how to be a pro, how to treat your body, how to do the ice baths, how to just be that elite player every week, even when your body isn't ready to. So, Faneca's impact on him was awesome.
Yeah.
Man. And how about that? How about this today, Dom? You were at the game, so you didn't hear this. I've been bringing this up the last couple of weeks. The New York Jets have started the same offensive line every single game this year. We're the only team in the NFL to start the same offensive line in 12 games. We had a year or two ago where we had 14 offensive linemen used by this time. Like we were awful in 22 and 23. We were bringing guys in like Newsom off like the street and like, hey, you got to start at right guard this week. Newman, not Newsom, Newman, Xavier Newman. But yeah, they said that today on Fox. We're the only team in the NFL to start the same offensive line in every game. And you always thought that would transcend the wins, right? We always said we need a good line and we need the line to stay healthy. And now we got that, and we still got 3 wins. Why does it have to be this way, Dom? You don't have to fact check me. I'm telling you the truth. You don't have to do no typey. I wouldn't lie to you, my friend.
No. I was just responding to somebody. All good, dude. Yeah, it's funny, man. It's the Jets. You couldn't make some of this stuff up. My wife sometimes just looks at me and she's like, you just think that this is a movie. She's like, you think that some of this stuff is a movie, right? It's a horror movie. That's it. Even my wife, and I'm not saying this because she's a woman, but my wife is not one that watches. She watches the Jets because I'm a Jet fan, but she doesn't know the game inside and out. And this is not a sexist thing. But she looked at me, and Tyrod Taylor, early on the game, get that no call late hit when he slid, and then the defender, like a second and a half later, comes in. And she's like, man, is it me, or does it seem like the Jets never get that call? Never get that call. I was like, no, you're spot on. Spot on, my friend. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
it's tough being a Jet fan. I look forward to the day where we're the team getting the calls and we're not throwing our arms up in frustration, and our players aren't distracted and frustrated that we're not getting those calls.
Yeah. All right, Nikki, I got to hit the road, man. Hey, to all the people in the chat who were kind enough to throw me a like and a follow to the channel, I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man.
So
looking forward to all your draft content, Dom, and anytime, with what you've done for me on a personal level, with helping me when I was down and out, you have an open invite. You could text me 20 minutes into the show and be like, hey, I want to come on and talk prospects, and you're in. So every couple of weeks I'll say, hey, come on.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
But thank you, man. Thank you for everything you've ever done for me. I appreciate you, buddy. I love you.
Love you too, brother. I'll talk to you guys later.
Be good, man.
All right.
Now, shout out to Dom C. Again, his link is pinned. Go over there if you haven't already. Subscribe to Dom. Give him another little boost before the end of the night. But there's somebody in the chat that I've been waiting for. I get heckled. I get tormented. I get called out for being positive, and here's Shine's fake positivity on a Sunday. Black Gypsy, this one's for you, buddy. The Jets won. Hell yeah, the Jets win, folks. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to drop the call-in link. I'm going to go use the bathroom. I will be back in a minute. Link is there. Hit the like button if you have. We got almost 100 of you in here a few seconds ago. Hit the like button. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes on a Sunday night. We haven't done that in a while. Oh, Rick, you tell me that after I flip them off? Where were you 30 seconds ago, Rick? Come on. All right. Well, I'm sure he will call in. He definitely will. But, folks, hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's see if we can get to 1,900. I know not all 90 of you in here right now are subscribed to this channel. We're 5 away. Let's get there. I will be right back, and we will play. We'll play that when I get back. Let's see. Oh, man, I got to reorganize these. Let's go right here. Angry Blitz. Good evening, everyone. Normally, this is the part where I go into a monologue about the Jets. I got to address something first. There's been some shit talk out there about this program. Don't talk shit about my family. They're my family.
And this just in, you can go fuck yourself.
Yeah. get ready for this new showdown. I call it the anytime, any day throwdown. Nick Shine, kill these clowns till they make no sound. They lose weight, we feel great when we burn these pounds. We all know that jet green make the earth go round. Another rookie head coach, another first go round. We bleed green, each fiends hope this team win now. And twist greens in the DP where my peeps are found. Shiners unite, knock the lights out at midnight. We go show for show, goon for goon, we can fist fight. I rip mics, Clemens and Williams, all the dislikes. Bunch of Jets rappers out there, they ain't this nice. I did this twice, got a sick addiction, so the green and white's my vice. I gave it blood, sweat and tears, yeah, I paid my price. Many years on this flight, no prescription, but I need a championship in my life, yo.
For as long as I'm alive, I got your back because you always had mine. And I fucking love you guys for that. So, keep coming back. It's a fun place to be. We don't turn people away. We don't talk down to people. Maybe we the people, but that he deserves it.
Welcome back. Thank you. Earlier, I gifted another membership because Rick Kent gifted 5. And folks, don't forget, tonight is the night. The Jets win. All raffle entries are tripled tonight. Tonight is the night to get your super chats in and to gift memberships. With gifting 5, you get 15 entries on the wheel instead of the regular 5. My membership went to Zach Rosenberg, lacrosse goalie. I feel like he gets it every month. Good for him. Now, we've entered the colon portion of the show. Some people you will cheer for. Some people you will boo for. And I promise you, no matter what happens and who calls in, you will never, ever have to say this.
That guy fucked me twice.
Hey, Alan.
Hello, Nicholas. How are you doing, sir? What's going on?
I'm
in
good,
a
man.
good mood.
Jets win, bro. Jets
I
win.
watched my Hawks win in double overtime tonight, so I'm in a good mood.
Mama Hawks?
Yeah, sure. I just wanted to piggyback off what Dom was mentioning on the 2027 draft, which many have said it could be generational, not only with quarterbacks. We're talking about 3 top 15 wide receivers. You have Colin Simmons out of Texas. It's supposed to be an amazing draft, okay? So let's say the Jets finish 5-12, okay? And they have the 8th pick in the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And they call Tennessee and they say, Tennessee's like, we want 3 ones and we want the best of the ones of the 2027 draft, including the one in this draft. So the Colt one in this draft, the best of the 3 ones in the 27 draft, and their own one. What do you do?
I think the Jets would try to give up a 1 and 2 2s and maybe even throw in a 3 instead of giving up all the 1s. I don't think they got the capital to do it. I don't think they got the capital to do that type of trade.
Yeah.
So I think that
there will be desperate.
Like Tom said, though, January 15th, you'll know better because you'll know how many quarterbacks are there. You'll know how far you have to go up. You'll know, hey, can Cleveland win a game or 2? Can Cleveland get lower than us in the draft? Because they don't have the capital that we have to get up. So, you hope that Cleveland can find a way. Or you hope that Shador becomes their guy where they're out of the – I don't believe it'll happen.
Yeah,
but if either him or Gabriel become their guy, that's another team that's out of the quarterback market that's up high. Because right now, you look at us, you look at the Saints, you look at the Raiders, and you look at the Browns. And those are the 4 teams that can really use a quarterback upgrade immediately. Now,
there are a couple other
maybe
ones.
One of those teams wait. Maybe the Saints bump up from there too to take someone late in round 1 and do that maneuver. But if we're 8,
they're going to ask for a 2027 1.
Sure. And then that locks everything in place because if you're getting the highest of the 3, you can't trade any of those picks, just like Dallas, right? Dallas can't trade either of next year's ones because we get the better of the 2.
They
So
do.
it locks you from maneuvering that. I don't know if they're going to do that because you can now you're locking in the potential of trading for a player. So I don't know if they would do that, but
Okay.
I
I
think
think
it'll
they're going to
help
be.
us.
I think there are
It,
3 other teams that you haven't mentioned that will be vying for quarterbacks next year. I think Atlanta. I think the Rams with Atlanta's pick will look for the heir apparent to Stafford, and they will trade up to go get him. I think Minnesota is going to be really desperate to the point where they might trade multiple ones, future years ones.
it could.
And I think Pittsburgh's another team that realizes that they don't have a quarterback in their system right now, and they'll be desperate as well. They may not even make the playoffs, so they're going to trade anything they can.
Yeah.
The Jets are in
But
such a
listen,
good
we'll see,
position.
right? There's a lot of teams that may just patch it together and wait. Like if you're the Rams and Atlanta's down around 10, maybe you just take that pick, trade it. Do what the Patriots did years ago. Remember when they traded Richard Seymour? And
They
then they
did.
traded that to the following year, and then they snowballed it downhill until it was time to strike. If you're the Rams, you do that, right? You trade that pick for a future pick, and then you have 2 in 27. But I think the 27 picks should be safeguarded unless it's an absolute no-brainer, and I don't know if the Jets will get there. If they do move one of those, it's gotta be a grand slam. It's gotta be
Yeah.
the guy. So,
The Jets are in such a great position with their draft capital to the point they're in a great spot.
I know, I'm just not used to you saying positive things
I
about the
am.
Jets, so it
Again,
caught me off
I
guard.
love the Colt trade is an absolute thievery. And I am shocked that anybody would have given up 2 ones for Sauce. It made no sense to me.
And
And,
Mitchell.
and Mitchell has a
And
chance to
Mitchell.
be a nice 3 or 4 on this team. I think you could find it.
Really?
I could
You
be a
gotta
3 or 4. I don't think he's a 2.
you don't think he could be a 2 with Garrett Wilson? He had a 100-yard game without Garrett Wilson, and the game we only threw for 170 yards. You don't think he can be a 2?
I don't think he could be a 2. I think he's a
Interesting.
3 or 4. I think there are guys in this draft with the Colt pick or even one of their second rounders, whether it's a Jacoby Lane or
You
a
don't think he's
Denzel.
good enough to be a 2 for next
I
year?
don't.
And then you can wait and get the wide receiver in that loaded 27 class? You
No,
don't think that Garrett, Mitchell, and Mechie can be a good
no,
1,
I
2,
think
3?
those are 3s and
For
4s.
1 year? You try it for 1 year, and if it don't work, you go get one of the best receivers to come
When
out.
you have the type of depth, the type of capital you have between picks 25 or 20 and 50, like they'll have if they
Okay.
don't make the trade up, there'll be a guy, whether it's a Denzel Boston or a Jacoby Lane, who have that 6'4", 6'5" size that
Okay.
can jump and could be a guy who'd be their number 2.
That's fair.
Number 2, you mentioned Jamie and Sherwood, and I agree with you. I just don't think he's a fit on this defense.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
looked at his contract, and to me, the only thing that makes sense for them is you trade him post 6-1, and it would save the Jets $9 million.
Yeah, but you gotta have somebody who wants him and wants that contract.
I'll tell you one thing: he would fit well in Atlanta, or he would fit well in Atlanta. Absolutely, they know him. That's a guy I would trade.
He'd play what,
post
next to
6-1.
Diablo?
What?
He would play next to Diablo?
Yes, I think he would.
All
Yeah.
right.
I think they need to completely blow up that linebacker room.
That's fair.
Again, you mentioned the 3 guys in Styles, Allen, and Hill. One of those 3 should be Jets. They are the perfect mic, and hopefully you can get a guy like Chanel to play next to them. Again, I know people have been mentioning Alex Anzalone. I just don't see them signing a guy who's 31 years old to be here with the way this team is
Agreed.
set up.
I think that's more of a final piece to the puzzle,
Yeah.
and I think we're still putting the building blocks in place. But when you have this draft capital, and hopefully Charles Gorman's Colts take a shit just like he does on
They
YouTube
might.
shows, and they keep sinking. And if that pick becomes 17 or 18, that is a perfect place to go get. If you come out of this draft with your quarterback and your middle linebacker, and now you still have those picks. I don't know, man. I'm excited about the Jets.
And my final comment is on
Shoot.
the center position.
Go
I know
ahead.
you've mentioned Linderbaum, who is the apple of my eye, watching him
The
for a
pipe
few
dream, right?
years.
It's the
What?
pipe dream. It's
It's
the
a
pipe
pipe
dream.
dream. I don't think he's coming.
I don't
I
think
would
he
go
hits
get his.
free agency. I think
I would
Baltimore
go get his
be dumb.
protege. I get his protege at Iowa, a guy he learned from for 3 years in Logan Jones. Logan
Okay.
Jones is a guy I think will slip in the draft because he's going to be 25 years old. He's a 6-year guy. You can pick him up in maybe if you trade back one of those picks and get a third rounder. He's a guy who can go between 50 and 75. He's a guy who's a plug and play starter right away. He's been
Most
great
Iowa
this
linemen
year.
are.
Yes.
Most of those Big Ten interior linemen are guys that you plug from day one.
It did make me smile when Tristan Wirfs caught a touchdown today. That was awesome. It was pretty cool to watch that. But
yeah, good play design.
But again, Nick, it's been a pleasure, and I will not mention about trade ups for quarterbacks anymore. But you will watch the way Matt Patricia schemes their defense against Mendoza next Saturday night, and you might have a change of heart. It's going to be quite the chess match between Signetti and Patricia.
I will say this. I am worried about Ohio State's pass rush against
Yes.
the Indiana offensive line. I'm not worried about Mendoza as much. I don't expect Indiana to win this game.
I don't.
But I do expect Georgia to beat Alabama in the SEC championship. And right now, that's where my energy is focused because Nikki's an Alabama fan, and he's gotten the last couple on me. And it's time. It's time that Dad gets one.
And they'll be the 2 seed, and they'll be dangerous in the playoffs, Georgia, absolutely. But again, I think Indiana, whether they win or lose, remind me the next thing. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it. This will be the last call for a little bit. I'm going to be away for a couple of weeks, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Nikki. Have a good one.
Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. Be good, pal. We got a super chat from Kevin Tattoos that says, hell yeah. He gets 6 raffle entries with this. And I saw Rick Kent earlier. Yes, 15 raffle entries. Sundays, we double it. Victory Sundays, we triple it. So today is the day to get in, folks. Make sure you get your raffle entries in. This guy got a raffle entry in earlier. Black Gypsy gifted a membership that went to John B. Yes, that Black Gypsy who spent his entire morning pulling a Charles Gorman and defecating on me and my positivity. He is here now, folks. Floor is all yours. I'm not even going to talk.
What happened to you this morning?
I was raining shit because how upset you were that I was positive on a Sunday morning.
All right.
How are you?
So we won a game. I'm happy we won a game. Rather win than lose, always. Now, that being said, like, what can be said about this game?
What can be said about this game?
Yeah.
I felt that they overcame some adversity. They overcame some penalties. I think they had 8, which is more than they've been having recently. I think Angstrand did a good job. I think Wilkes got us off the field at key times. In the first half, I thought it was more of a bend but don't break type of attack where Robinson was getting some yards, but then they really got off the field. I thought they did some things well. They didn't do many things great, but I think the game plan was good enough to win. I think they planned accordingly for their opponent and thought that they could outlast them.
You see a lot more positives than I saw. I saw a bunch of guys play really. I saw the only positive thing that I really saw today was that the whole team played for the coach. It seemed like, or played for the win. Like they played their asses off today. Like there's a difference. Tyrod made a lot of shit happen today.
With his legs, he was remarkable. I got so scared when he started running sideways. I thought he was going to get blindsided from behind from like a D tackle.
when he went down and hit his head and bounced off the floor, I was like, is he hurt? Is he done? Because if he's done, it's a wrap for this game. The game was fun to watch, but it wasn't necessarily a good game. Like what I saw was they played hard for him, which is I love seeing that in football games. Like they played their asses off for him when so much went wrong that they could have quit. There's a whole bunch of points in that game that they could have buckled, and they stepped up and Tyrod and stepped up and just did what he had to do. It felt like the same thing that Angstran is the show's too big for him right now. Like he has a game plan, but it's not a feasible game plan. Because here's the thing that it always shows when the other team does something, right? Atlanta used their running back as their main piece for their offense. They set their base to that offense off the running back. So we're going to give him screens. We're going to let him run the ball. The game is going to be centered around the defense looking for Bijan or looking for Brees. Right? You see them doing that. And then when we get the ball, we don't give Brees the ball like at all, really. Like you're
Brees
watching.
even said after the game, his job today was kind of be the decoy.
Like,
did you see those comments?
Yeah, I saw that, but like some of those points in the game were just like lucky things that happened to us. It wasn't that the offense was good. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't look at that offense today and be like, that offense played good. Like in the third quarter, it was two plays where we got that touchdown. Up until that point, the offense wasn't good. Like they had done nothing. There's no levels to the play. There's no breathe slower and then a slant coming across. Most of the routes that we caught balls on were crossing routes coming all the way across the field. That take a long time to develop. That's what he was trying to hit Mitchie and Mitchell with most of the time, or Mitchie, whatever his name is. Like the plan wasn't good on offense. Like the Atlanta OC had a way better game on offense than Tanner did. Like he plotted up his offense a lot better. Just Cousins didn't come through.
Yeah.
Like Tyrod put the game on his back in certain points and really won that game. It wasn't Angstran. Like, and that's my thing. I want to see what Angstran can do. And so far, like it's just annoying watching plays develop where you don't have dump offs. Like I don't like that mentality in an offensive coordinator. Like you don't have dump off plays. Like when your quarterback's in trouble, the first person he looks to, if the main guy's not open, dump off play. He doesn't have that mentality. You don't see it in the offense in any way, shape, or form.
I think they're trying to get a downfield passing attack to open that, because every time you see Brees flare out, there's somebody right there, if not two guys, waiting for it.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be him. It could be Rucker coming doing a hook route or an in route or anything, a dump off. You need to have a dump off person. That's not built into his offense. So it's hard to grade him because you don't know how to really. This was Tyrod's game. This wasn't an Angstran game. Tyrod made this game happen. Like it wasn't based on Angstran's plan. Maybe that one streak to Mitchell, like. The game plan wasn't good. The third quarter, Brees didn't get the ball a lot. Like, I don't care about him being a decoy. He is the best player on the field. Why would I want to decoy the best player on the field when the other guys that we have are unproven? Use the guy that we know is good to do what he does best. Bijan did that. Like, and then they had their backup, the other guy, come in and do what he had to do. We have Davis to do that. Like, you can see the game plan. It didn't give me nothing where I could be like, that was a good game plan from him. Which is what we're looking for right now. We're looking for the players and Angstran to show us something.
Yeah.
So
now, I don't want to make an excuse. I mean, you made a lot of great points with that, and I agree with them. I think they're trying to figure out who they can be without Garrett. And you saw last week, they made a big effort to get Mechie the ball, right? They schemed Mechie open a bit. Now, this week, they schemed Mitchell more, and he got more targets. And I think they're trying to figure out these guys who they didn't have preseason and training camp with. I think they're trying to figure out what they can do and what their role can be, and before they bring it all together. And when you're 2-9 going into this game, let's try some things we haven't tried yet. Let's see how this works. Let's see how that works. And I think you know what Garrett can do when Garrett comes back. But how are we going to stack these guys opposite of Garrett? And how are we going to utilize them? And what are their strengths? And how can we build this scheme when we're fully loaded so that it's easier for the quarterback to process and roll out?
If you're gonna build this scheme, it's all dependent on Brees. Brees has to be the main focus. So when Brees is doing
But
what he
Garrett takes a
does,
lot of pressure off of Brees being there, man.
he
Garrett takes
does.
a lot of
He
pressure
does
off of Brees.
exactly my reason. So Garrett's not there. Who's your next best receiver? Mason is. Mason is the next best guy on the team. So it's Brees and Mason. Those are your two players that are going to take over your game. Like it has to be a plan that like teams have to plan for us. They know Mason's going to get a lot of catches. They know Brees is going to get a lot of touches. So their defense is going to be set to that. Then it leaves everything else open for Mechie and Mitchell to go ape shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no identity. And that's the thing I'm looking for when you say a team is getting better. Like the identity to that team, like how they play offense. I mean, like every good team plays offense a certain way where you just know that they're going to come and do this and you have to stop them from doing that. That's what I don't see in his playbook yet. His playbook is just random plays. He's kind of like Adam Gase in some ways with the plays. If you notice, there's no what's the word?
We don't run halfback.
There's no
dives with
urgency
Frank
in
Gore
his
9
playbook.
yards behind the line.
There's no urgency in his playbook until somebody else scores. And then when somebody else scores, you can see the change in his playbook where he goes away from the run and starts to just dial up a whole bunch of passes. Like whenever someone scores, Angstram's reaction to that is very reactionary. It's not a plan where he's a good OC and he knows what works. He goes to more passes when he's down. Like if your game plan is running the ball, like run the ball, take time off the clock, develop that rhythm to the offense so you can score. Like so it's hard to judge him. And that's where I'm like, I love the win though. The win was a good team win. Like this is the first team win we've had where everybody showed up and kind of did what they had to do. Like, and to what Allen says, I would never trade Sherwood because Sherwood is a good safety. That's what Sherwood
I know
is.
you're big on that.
He is. Like, he's not a linebacker. Like, have him lose some weight, pick up speed again, and put him back at safety because that's where he's good at. Like, he can tackle whenever he's there, and he can kind of understand the game because he was a linebacker. But he's originally a safety. Let him play safety. Like, we need a middle linebacker. We need a Mike linebacker so bad because the defense, why there's no rhythm to that defense or blitzes don't get through, your middle linebacker sucks, bro. He can't call and change the line and tell the guys to shift and who should, like, so, all right. But yeah, you are correct. I was giving you mad shit this morning, right? Like, optimistic Sunday shine, bro. Look, so next week, because this is the person I want to be our OC, is our opponent next week's coach. Like Daniels is one of the best OCs you've ever come across in football.
I would love to see him with a rookie quarterback.
Like the plays that he comes up with are amazing.
If he gets fired, I'm okay moving on from Tanner. If you can bring him in,
like that's who I want.
100% okay with him getting a quarterback.
Like my dream squad, it'll never happen, would be McCarthy, McDaniels, and Rex on defense. That's my dream squad. Like,
Rex's ego is too big, especially
his ego is too big. But if he decided that he was going to run a defense, and where Sherwood, if we did trade Sherwood, where Sherwood would be great is San Francisco. He fits into that defense perfectly.
What catch just happened in the game? I got multiple tweets. What a catch! Holy crap! Anyone tell me who just made a big catch?
I'm not watching the games.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's my Sunday routine. Every Sunday before the game, if it looks like a game that we're going to lose, I'm talking shit, and Shine's going to get me on board. You have me on board today. You were like, we're going to win.
Tell you.
You know what I mean?
Make no plans for next Sunday morning, my friend. I can't go to the game. I'm coaching my nephew. I'm helping my buddy whose son is in 3rd grade. My nephew's in 3rd grade, and they had enough 3rd graders try out to have a travel basketball team for 3rd grade. So we're coaching that. And I can't make the Wednesday and Friday games during the week because I work 2:30 to 11. So my nephew's a Dolphin fan, as most of you know. We were gonna go to the game, and then now he has a game, and I'm like, we gotta go to this, and he's like, fine. I'm like, all right, we'll go. Don't worry, I'll give you updates of what's going on in the Dolphin game. I go, or we can watch it when we get home, but we're gonna go to your game, and I really think that the Jets. I was there in Miami. They had Tyreek Hill going into the game. We're better than them. We're better than Miami. And if we can contain the run, and if we can stop A-Chain off the edge, the way Robinson was getting out to the edge, right? If we can be better in that,
Tua is a lot better than Cousins, though. People shit on Tua, but when Tua is on,
is Cousins. He's not mobile, and he wants his first read, and if the first read's not there, he goes into fucking panic mode.
But when he's on, he's on. That's the thing about him. When he's on, he's on. When he's bad, he's bad.
True.
Like, so.
Hopefully we get Brownlee back. You saw the difference in our defense.
You see the difference in the defense today without Brownlee there?
Yeah, that's the first thing I said. And when I opened up the show, you could see. And I thought the Atlanta Falcons game plan was to run to the edge and get to the edge because we've been so stout up the middle the last couple of weeks that let's attack that. And now Brownlee out, with Oliver out there. Oliver made a nice tackle. Came up, made a really nice tackle on one play early in the game. I think it was a 3rd and 2, and they tried like a misdirection, and they kicked it out to him. And Thomas came upfield and made a great play. But you don't see that if you have Sauce there, and that's the reality of it. Like you don't.
McDonald had a good play today that he was coming off the edge in that blitz, and then he stopped the blitz. That's so there's little things. I don't know who's teaching it to him because he wouldn't do that before. He wouldn't be where he's supposed to be when he needed to fall back and go out and make a play. So you got to give credit where there's credit. There's tiny little changes that's happening where guys kind of understand where they should be, but still at the same time not knowing what to do. It's kind of like knowing the information that your teacher wants you to know, but when it's test time, like you test poorly. That's the Jets on defense.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
But, I mean, they got off the field a lot today. I know you're not a Wilkes fan. I know you want to fire. You want to change.
Yeah, but it's not because of Wilkes.
They did bend but don't break quite often in this game.
Cousin had players open a couple times where he just didn't pass the ball to them. Like, so if you put another QB in that position where Cousins was in and they play a tiny bit better, we lose that game. Because like the pass that Cousin was supposed to throw, you know what I mean? Like he missed the pass and threw the ball away. Like the pressure wasn't great. So like it's 50-50. I'm happy about the win. I'll take the win. I'd rather us win out than lose out. Because we're not going to get the number 1 pick anyway. And everybody forgets. Cam Ward is really, really bad and was picked by like a coach that might not make it. So Tennessee could be in for a quarterback.
They could do the Arizona.
You know what I mean? They could be in for a quarterback. So, like, I don't think we're going to get the number 1 pick anyway. So, to Allen's dismay, we're going to have to probably give up some picks to go up and get somebody if a quarterback is really what we need. Like, it is what it is. Yeah.
Right, that's fair.
That's all I got. But yeah, so every game Sunday, that's a new tradition. You're positive in the mornings, and I'm going through my shit based upon who we're playing.
Whatever gets the dub. I'm superstitious. Ride it till it doesn't work.
Exactly. Don't change it up. Right?
I take back the middle finger from before, but you know I had to bust you.
I saw. Right? Like so spicy.
Soon, pal. Be good.
All right, once.
Shout out to Alan during that call. He gifted 5 memberships that went to Phenom, Sean Bennett, BC, Barney Miller, and sweet baby Jesus. Thank you, Alan. Followed by Tattoos by Kevin. He gifted 5. Where are you? Refresh. God damn, YouTube. Stop refreshing. His 5 went to Tom Brady, 7 rings. Italian Stallion, M. Morris, Michael Palermo, and Bobbleneck. Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, everyone. Like I said, tonight is the night to get in. That's what she said. And you know what? I'm going to pull a 25. I hit a bet today. I'm just going to give 5. Let's get it out there. Thank you, everyone, for everything you guys do to make this show what it is. I really appreciate you. My 5 went to Feed the Fat Rabbit. No relation to Feed the Fat Raccoon, from what I know. Zach Lendler, Curtis, Jordan Marclay, Zach Asman. There we go. Bunch of action tonight. Thank you, everybody. Yeti, serious question. Why do the Cardinals get all our ex-running backs, Adrian Morrell, Bam Knight, Michael fucking Carter? I don't know. They don't win either. So I guess why take I don't know. I can't even spin it to pretend to know. Yeah, Lazard made a great play today, Deborah. Lazard with a ball that got tipped and popped up in the air. Lazard, huge play, jumping up, catching it, and making a first down. And then they pull him out of the game immediately after that. All his job was to clear out, and the ball pops up, and he went up and got it. So, hey, that was the sign right there that we were going to win the game. Alan Lazard made a play. Michael Clemens. You got Carter in my head, Yeti. Clemens makes a sack. Adams gets a sack. Lazard makes a great catch. You can't waste those moments. How many games have we had as Jets fans where we don't get those moments? But folks, hit the like button. We're getting near the end of the show. We are close. We're at 86. If you haven't hit the like button already, let's try to get to 100 during the live stream. Would greatly appreciate it. Call lines are open. If not, if nobody calls in, we'll start winding this pretty baby down. Jets victory Sunday show. Not many occur, folks. So we're gonna soak this one in. We're gonna enjoy it. Fun fact. Let's add this to the screen here. Here you go, folks. You want positivity? You tell me that I'm too positive. You tell me that I'm delusional. How about this? Here's a fun fact. The Jets have more wins than the Chiefs, Colts, and the Buccaneers since November 1st. So, New York Jets. Listen, we're not a playoff team yet, but for crying out loud, you got to win games if you want to get there eventually. Maddie, the Jets finally got a turnover on U.S. soil. It's not the defense, though. We're still waiting for the defense. It's a generational run. We hear the word generational with quarterbacks all the time. It's a generational run we are on. That's it, Curly. That's what we got to do. We got to petition the league. Every team needs a dome, and we start the league November 1st. Oh, man. Let's just hope the Colts keep losing, guys. That is a really big part of this future puzzle. The Colts missing the playoffs will benefit the Jets so much. Jay says 8 and 9. Hell yeah.
That's it. Dude, sideways.
That's Bobby doing the Membu. But folks, if we have no other callers.
Now let's go to What Did We Learn Today? Courtesy of Nick Shine.
And I have to bring up something from earlier. For those of you who watched this morning's show, Nick Shine fucked up. Very rare, I know. I know all of you think of me in such high regard. You don't even think that's possible. But this morning's show, Boomtown, I learned Nick is looking for a whiteboard, wiping levels of positivity this morning. Motherfucking chew. It's greater than Dixon, yes. Addison has never been to a Lakers game. Dixon prefers blueberry pie for his naughty time. Bonus, Quinnen has lost Nick's respect. Texas features two things, steers and Quinnens. Jelani Woods generated a lot of confusion today. Violence over nice guys. Can confirm AddisonShow.com does not work. Double bonus. Not convinced listening is common in the Mad Max family. If you ain't top 12, shut the fuck up. Nick has shrunk. The only thing Nick retained from being a 6'3" white power forward is the white. Well, thank you, Boomtown. And I apologize. I did not go to that this morning. But I will go to this.
Can you guys hear
What up,
me?
dog?
Can you guys hear me, Nick?
Up?
Let's talk about the game today. So I was actually at this game, guys.
Wait. Have you been to 2 Jets wins this year?
Yes, I've been to 2 Jets wins. Back to back,
You
baby.
tickets to every game, Max. Are you going next Sunday?
No, because I was just at the game today.
We got to get you there. Jets don't lose when you're there. They're 2-0, right?
I know. Every time I'm at the game, 2-0 every home game. But it was a very fun Jets game. We sat 129, got free tickets by Big Cho. So let's talk about the game. So offensively, we played decent. On defense, you know what? I think Tanner Angstrom should have a little bit more creative play calling. I really like the deep bomb to Adonai Mitchell for the touchdown. Mechie had some bad drops, And the defense, I feel like the defense played better in the second half. But overall, I think we did not play that good in the first half. We couldn't get stops by Bijan and stuff. So I think, the Jets played good, but they were lucky that they got the win. Game-winning field goal by Falk. He's one of the best kickers in the league. And you know what? I think some of the penalties were ticky-tacky. There was a late hit in the first quarter that should have been called on Tyrod. I think the rest were kind of bad, in my opinion. What's your thoughts on that, Nick?
I think you're right. I think the defense did a little bit of bend but don't break in the first half. They didn't get lit up. Could have been much worse, but I think they figured it out at the right time. It did look bad at certain times. It looked like Robinson was going to run for 300 yards, right? And they kind of figured it out. And wasn't their greatest game, but it was good enough. And sometimes you just got to be good enough. You don't have to be perfect week in and week out in the NFL. You just got to do enough to beat your opponent. And today they did. Now, that might not be good enough to win next week. Each game is its own story, right? But I think when you look at the Jets, they're doing things better than they did in September. And that was the whole goal. Once 0-3, 0-4 hit, it was get better. It was lower the penalties. It was get the offensive line gelling. Figure out the scheme. They get Mechie and Mitchell in the middle of the year. So I think there's so many things that you can look at these last several games and say, this is what I want to focus on today. Who's going to be your defensive line going forward? How does Brownlee come back? How does AZ Thomas develop as an outside corner? How do they use Brees? How does Mechie and Mitchell, if we get Garrett Wilson back, how do they all come together? There's so many storylines that you could still look at with this team to be interested in and week out, Max.
I agree with you because, people are like, people are so mad because, we lost. We're not tanking correctly. Bro, I only care about wins. I don't care. Why do you have to be so negative? Just because we won the game doesn't mean, we ruined our draft position. Come on. I don't care about tanking.
We lost the game. We're not doing draft position stuff.
So it's just no. It's just, I'm just so against tanking in sports. I'm seriously. You can cry about, we don't get the quarterback, bro. But I'm I have not even. But bro, quarterbacks always, bro. We don't even know. Everyone says, because I remember September was Drew Adler, Lenore Sellers, and then now it's Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson. It's just it always changes around. Honestly, the top quarterbacks don't just because it's not always in the season. Wait till January. Zach Wilson wasn't always a high draft pick. Once the combine, Zach Wilson was the number 2 quarterback because of a combine throw, bro. There's always draft risers and fallers in the draft. Who cares? Just because we win a couple games. It's not. There's also good examples. There's good quarterbacks in the league, and they weren't drafted number 1. They're drafted number 10. Seriously. I care more about winning games at this point in the season. That's just my thoughts.
I love it, man. I'm glad you had a great time. How did Dad enjoy the day?
My dad had a lot of fun at the game. It was fun. He enjoyed it.
Good. Were you dry?
It was a crazy game. It was a crazy game at the end with the game-winning field goal.
Did you go up underneath? Were you guys dry or were you out in the rain?
I was out in the rain, but the rain wasn't that bad. I thought it was going to be a lot, Nick, I thought it'd be a lot worse.
All right. That's what she said.
Did your son go to the game?
No. His when I said we weren't going to go because of the rain, his mother made plans, and her boyfriend's kids came over, and they did a whole dorky day at the house. That's what I call it when she plans things. It's a dorky day.
Oh, it's very unfortunate, but maybe your son wants to go to another game.
We're gonna go to the Patriot game. That's our pig roast and rodizio that my tailgate does, and we'll be there. Even if we don't make it into the game, we're definitely gonna go up for that tailgate. So
sounds good.
All right, Max. Glad you enjoyed the day. When do you go back to Rowan? Tonight?
Tomorrow.
All right. Safe travels, buddy.
Sounds good.
Talk soon. Now, I didn't make it to the game today. I'm old. It's getting cold. It's rainy. I could deal with the cold. I could deal with the rain. I can't deal with the combination of both. But this guy certainly can. Lou B, what up?
I'm still defrosting, man. Now, I wish you would have came with me this one, Nick. I wish you would have came.
I know. When the end of the game was getting there, I'm like, I wish I was there. They would have heard me on the field. Fucking empty today, huh?
It was empty, definitely empty. But the fans that were there didn't leave. That's the one thing I have to say. It was a bunch of them. Like I couldn't see that. It was so. I was looking for red. Then I started to hear them, and I was like, wow, Atlanta is here. There was a bunch of Atlanta
here on TV.
Yeah, they were there definitely, but at least the diehards got, I go to as many games as I can, so I catch one, and today I call one, right? That was the one, I never want to miss a great game like that, and today I just felt that was, for me, that was the best game of the season, right? Because I didn't know what to expect. I was, almost accepting if we lose because I'm so about the draft, but I saw these Atlanta fans screaming in my ear, and I was like, forget the tank. I couldn't take it. The jet came out of me, and I was just going crazy. And then we got to go on the field after the game. They let a lot of people on the field. They had little kids playing to the left and the right before the game. It was great. And I caught one today, man. It was great to see the receivers. Wonder if we had receivers to start. Like what two receivers did to the game, I think just changed like how it was played, just watching from my point of view. But yeah, what a great day, man.
Yeah, I can't find the negative, man. And there's people who just look for negatives, and I just can't adopt that mindset. You got a first-time head coach, a first-time offensive coordinator. The whole goal is to get better week after week. Like I don't want to see them regress. I don't want to see them get worse. Like I don't want to be that fan. No, we got to fire them. We got to start it up. No. Get better at your job. Get better as players. Get better as coaches. Win games as the year goes on. Show that you got momentum going into year two. That the proof is in the pudding. That it's working. You're getting better. You're progressing. Like I can't look for negatives and root for negatives. Now, you've heard me for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I can tell.
I'm rooting for the team to win. If they don't win, it's not going to wreck my day. But I don't expect to win every week. I'll pick them to win every week because I want to root for victory. But I just can't do what other fans do. I can't.
Well, look, the one thing I could say is, like I always try to say, I'm a fan more than knowing anything about football. But the games are getting more exciting, and for me, that means they're getting better. Right? They're getting more exciting. They're more competitive. We're in it. We're fighting. The one thing in the beginning of the season. These guys were giving up. You saw it. It was like we talked. It was just Garrett Wilson, and the whole team is into it now. Even Justin benched was like going crazy for the team. They're so into it now. I think
they understand the scheme more, and I think they understand what's asked of them to do, and I think that's making them feel more comfortable, and they're playing smarter, right? A lot of things Black Gypsy pointed out with Wilk's scheme early in the season, we don't have those same complaints anymore. Yes, we have some issues. We have some guys that don't fit the scheme, but you're seeing the players get comfortable with what's asked of them. And that's the goal, right? Get better, get more comfortable, and then you can really see who's meant to be in here long-term and who's just a temporary piece that you got to throw to the curbside.
Maybe AG's helping more on the defense. It went too far, and maybe he got more involved, which obviously he's the head coach, he can do that very easily. But I was just really excited to see, the new two receivers out there, right? They just and those drops. At one point, I could actually see the ice rain. It was icy. It was icy.
Was it really?
I was like, whoa, I could see these drops right now. And it reminded me of the November game a little bit with Denver last year that I suffered. But, and then the kick that he missed, could have been the ice rain also. And then the kick that he made, that was in the ice rain also. So that's why I really thought it didn't make it. It looked from where I was sitting.
I didn't even see the ball on TV, Lou.
Oh, man. I was like, oh, and then people just went crazy. And
have you seen the video of the kick?
I saw something on Instagram, but it was like...
So the camera angle that they use, majority of the time when I watch CBS, they'll go behind the goalpost and show you the ball coming. They use the hangover camera back behind the other goalpost, and when the ball went up and it got into like behind the stands were behind it, I'm like, where the fuck is the ball? Never saw the kick, never saw the ball. And I'm watching the ref, and I see the ref look at the other ref, and then he puts his hands up. I didn't see the ball go in. So I thought
I was there and I didn't see the
shit
ball
job
go
today.
in. Yeah, I was there and I didn't see the ball go in, to be honest. It just was, I thought it was short. I really did. And it was so cold at that point. The last 4 minutes of the game, that was the first time I was really cold during the game. And I was like, wow, this is the ice rain. Here it comes. And I was like, wow, this is really hard football right now. But it was, listen, it's great to see them getting better. I think the center still, I can see that snap coming out bad every time, man. It just looked, there was a few times I thought he was going to fumble because of it. And obviously, it was bad weather, but he was doing that in New England as well. The center issue is a huge issue here, just watching it, right? Coming out shitty every time.
I'm really big on upgrading, whether it's a free agent or whether it's a draft pick. I think he's meant to be a backup and he's meant to be your sixth man like he was this year. But then AVT went down and we had to make those changes. Just to let you know, next Sunday in the morning, 26 degrees with a high of 41 throughout the day as of now.
I'm flying in at 1 o'clock. I land to go to the game. I'm coming home from somewhere, but I'll be there. Wow, it's going to be cold again. You know what? The wrapping of I was telling people when you go there, put your foot in a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Right? Put your sock on plastic bag because the people that did that were like, oh my God, this is the best thing today because you really got to stay waterproof. It's all about being waterproof in that place.
My father used to work for Bell Atlantic, which then turned into Verizon, but they used to be Ma Bell.
Yeah.
And he would deliver, the reels of cable. And days that it was snowing or raining, he would always ask, Karen, give me 2 plastic bags. And he'd tie the plastic bags on his feet before putting them in like the work galoshes when it was really, really bad.
That trick works.
Yeah, good tip. And I always appreciate when I get reminded of my dad. So thank you.
Yeah, no, that was that's important because you're really in the water. I mean, I left soaking. The ponchos, man, you got to bring a poncho to the game. I mean, you just have to have, and not these little plastic. I had a case of ponchos. I threw 100 of them away. You got to get a real poncho to go to these games. You have to invest in a poncho as a fan.
You need the good rain gear.
You never know when you're going to need the poncho. So, have your poncho ready. That's all I could say. Because the ones that we had were good. But what a day. It was just when they stormed the field, that was incredible. Just watching them like a baseball game, storm the field.
Good for them, man. And you see the locker room. You see the video in the locker room afterwards. Listen, there's a lot of fans that checked out at 0-7, but you could see these players haven't. And that gives me hope going forward. And I'm looking forward to seeing this team rise up.
Yeah, they may win a bunch now coming up now, seeing the way that the mentality is there. I mean, you could just see they're going hard. And they're all into it. They all want to win. Maybe the older guys, the veterans in the locker room was not maybe good for I hear that Breece Hall is stepping up, trying to be like a leader in the locker room now and stuff like that. Maybe he was embarrassed to be or shy to be. Who knows? But look, I love it. And I'm I don't know. It was a great day. It was cold, and I'm so glad that I was there.
Oh, yeah. It's better to deal with the cold after a W, right?
No, definitely. Because and it was a lot of traffic. It was, believe it or not, a lot of traffic going out of there with even no cars. It was still.
Because everyone stayed. It was finally a game we're staying for. Yeah. Normally, our games are midway through the third quarter. The exit rows are full.
Running out of there. But who played the worst today? Because I heard penalties and stuff. You can't, when you're at the game, you really don't know what the hell is going on.
Mechie with the drops, Membu
was icy,
penalties and gave up a sack. So I would say Mechie and Membu.
Yeah, he got a few of them, and I know
Sherwood wasn't great.
Who did the penalty that it was like pass interference, like a long, it was a lot of yards. I was like, oh,
I think it was
no.
AZ Thomas.
Oh, it was AZ.
Yeah, McCrary ball, he fucked up a little bit.
Yeah, all right.
Stupid penalty. It was
Yeah.
offsetting too, which sucks.
Well,
They
I guess
had a
he's in there
penalty.
because we have nobody else, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, Clemens still in there. Nobody else. So, look, for the team that they have, who knows? Let's just get the draft, get that going. We're not in offense. I don't think we're that far away. I think you're a quarterback, a center, and another receiver, and offense is set. You got
Could
great
even
time.
be Garrett Wilson coming back, being away now that you got Mitchell and Mechie.
When you put those three guys together,
yeah,
that's going to be.
I'm hoping he comes back. I really want to see a couple
just to
games
see
with
it.
all of these guys together to see how it looks. And I really hope that Taylor stays healthy for the rest of the way so we can get a better read on it.
How many weeks he's out now? He's out like 2-3 weeks now, Garrett. So he's on injury reserve. So 4 weeks at least minimum.
I think it's after the Miami game, or is it after Jacksonville? I got to check when he went out.
Yeah, he definitely wants to come back in. You know, that guy is a warrior. That's a warrior right there. And then no, it was just a great day. And I can't believe I was like, who caught that? And it was Lazard. It wasn't even a throw.
Yeah, popped up.
Boom, Lazard. I couldn't believe it, man.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how the guys that we just like want to kill and off the team are sometimes the guys that catch the ball that we need. Like Jeremy in the beginning of the season, everyone was like, oh, cut him. Meanwhile, he made some key throws, key catches in some games that we needed him to. I think he did as good as he could with a quarterback that didn't throw. And Tyrod, shit, man, he was all over that field today. He was trying so hard, taking hits, running for it. Tyrod was great today, man. He was as good as he
was. He willed that team to victory, man. He really did.
People were screaming Brady Cook, but I was like, why? Tyrod's not playing bad. I mean, I want to see Brady, but I didn't want to see Tyrod. Like, no, he was playing great. Don't take him out. This guy's throwing in, getting hit, throwing in the ice ball. It was icy, man.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you got out of there safe, my friend.
Yeah.
And good luck next week. Hopefully next week you see what we weren't able to see together and the Jets squish the fish. But have a good week. And safe travels, pal.
Great time. Talk to you later, man.
Later, pal. Be good. Oh, Bo Nix is pretty good, I see. What's going on there? So I cashed out a bet early before. Harvey's got a touchdown. I had that. It was a 6-leg. I hit on Niners covering, Jacksonville covering, Jets +3. And then it was Seahawks -12.5. They won. Chargers money line. And I cashed out for 194. But the last leg of it was the Broncos -6.5. So I kept $10 in and put another bet together. And it's Harvey touchdown hit. Where's Bo Nix passing yardage? 217. He's going to hit 225. What else we got? Washington under 18.5. So, and then Denver over 24.5. So hopefully one more touchdown from Nix. And that's a wrap. Cash for another 115 or so. Be a good day. But ladies and gentlemen, we are at the end of the program. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the channel throughout the night. Hit the like button. We are very close to 100. If you've been waiting towards the end of the show to see if you liked your experience here with Nick Shine and the great chat, please hit the like button now before we end. We're a couple away. And drop your what did we learn? Dixon, I learned it is us, the fans, that want to fly with them fucking Jets. Hell yeah. Rusty, I learned that today Nick is afraid of the Buckeyes, and rightfully so, defending national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Fuck the Big Ten. Fuck the Big Ten. Just like a prostitute. Take the Big Ten. Shove it up your ass. Big Ten. Stop it. biggest game of the year is against a scummy Michigan team. And Denver, yes. Well, yeah. If we get that Knicks touchdown, we're good. But we need Washington to not score anymore. That's our key right there. Denver has the ball. Let's see if Denver goes down. Give me a touchdown pass from Knicks on this drive. We hit the over. We're good. Everything good. 1 touchdown pass from Knicks. 6 more passing yards. And we're good, baby. Any other what did we learn? No. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, if you are a member of the channel, drop the Canadian Leaf for the great Boomtown. And Mr. Boomtown.
Now let's go to what did we learn today?
With Boomtown. Drop it like it's hot, good sir. Also, last call. Raffle entries tripled. $5 super chats and up. Get your ass in. Gifted memberships. Get your ass in. Boom. Fire away, my friend. Jaden, I heard Nick wants 100 likes. Yeah, that would be great. We had big numbers showing up for the show today. So where I think we ended up 95 at one point we had in here live. So thank you to everyone. Boomtown, I learned Nick was worried he lost his nice guy status. He never did. Nick said, hard on. Shiner submissions of their Membu dance are lacking. Yeah. There are a lot of prospect QB experts in the chat tonight. Bonus, Dom C needs to add a badass motherfucker category to his rankings going forward. When this turns, it's going to turn quick. Nick Shine. Linderbaum is Nick Streams. Double bonus. Black Gypsy got one of the biggest middle fingers delivered in show history. The forecast called for shit rain this morning. Nick's Mad Max impression is coming along nicely. Yeah, Boomtown, I just want to say that when you call into the show, it's real serious. We have a good time. Talk Jets. Me and my dad had fun. You know, people are like, why are we going to go? It's going to rain. Tom Ace, my homeboy. Mad Max in attendance is always the key to victory. Need a Commander's win for Tankathon. All right, let's see where we're at. Oh, Washington. Do something stupid. Get out of field goal range. Fuck up, will you? Where are we at with subscribers? We are at... If you're watching the channel right now and you haven't subscribed, do so. We're a couple away from 1,900. Let's get us there. What's the cash out? Even? What do you mean, $10? Cash out's even. So is that the $10 bet? I learned the Jets franchise would have a dynasty if the Jets season started on November 1st. Nah. Let it go. Let it go. Second and 10. Yeah, fuck it. Let it go. Hopefully they can hold Washington to a field goal. But, folks, thank you for watching. I appreciate you. The Jets win. Celebrate that. And since the Jets won, we will be on tomorrow night when I get home from work, right around 11:26. So Addison, who's going to his first home Laker game tomorrow night, maybe we'll get some call-ins from him. So take care, everyone. God bless. Go Jets. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. And
Let's welcome our next caller. Ladies and gentlemen, it's... What's on your mind, my friend?
We've been beat up, laughed at, kicked while we down. Told we no good, just a circus of clowns. We hear our team is no good and our owner's a bum. Making poor decisions with help from his son. Back the F off, please keep your hands off the team. For you this is a business, for us we bleed green. You got Muji and Glenn to make decisions that's tough. So just sign the checks and shut the F up. Cause year after year you like to mess things up. And on behalf of Jets fans, enough is enough.
I get it. We're all frustrated. But let me tell you why it's going to turn around. It's shine time, game time, 2025. Need a Super Bowl win while I'm still alive. We got O-line, defense, backs who can run. With Wilson and Sauce, this could still be fun. Don't stress, don't fret, don't worry about the past. With Glenn at the helm, we'll turn around fast. It's time to tell you what you need to know. Sit back, relax, it's the Nick Shine Show.